right. We got Peter
But yeah, I
Flores.
found a bunch of paperwork, article.
Whatever. Can you lower whatever you're listening to me on a little bit?
I was trying to delete that shit, bro. Yeah.
Hit the X.
Oh, that's what you want.
You on live. Everybody can hear you. Just so you know.
Hello, you too. How y'all doing?
We got
Thanks for having me back,
Peter Flores
Sean.
in the building. Let me see. Boom. What up, P?
What's good, man?
How's the game?
Man, I'm not a football fan. I just went for the family reunion
The family reunion. That's it, huh?
and eat some pizza, I guess.
Nice.
Some chicken.
Nice. Yeah, that's what it is. It's for the food, man. It's all
Yeah,
for
for
the
sure.
food. Shout out to the chat. Chuck Chingon. So what up, Pete?
Oh, what's
Uh,
up, Checo Chingon?
salute from
Perfecto,
Tucson.
77, 030 North. Vernon Hines, what's up, everyone? I see y'all.
Oh, 30 North out there living the life right now.
Oh, Dominican Republic, you said, or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, yep. Buddy living the good life right now, man.
Short $500, though.
Short for no, his boy. Yeah, his boy short for
Oh,
five
yeah.
hundred dollars. Unless he was trolling when he said I'm saying it for a friend. You know what I mean? He got pickpocketed and shit. Yeah. So what's up, man? What's good? So we're gonna wait on Jay. Jay's gonna come in. We just watched the video to kill time while the game was in overtime. We watched the video of some AI trying to tell the bromance span whole Kato story, and it was just uneventful. Shout out Yayo in the chat. Shout out Billy Finnegan in the chat. Vernon Himes, appreciate y'all for being here. Everybody, please hit
Yeah,
the
yo,
like
what's up?
button.
What's up, Bill?
But yeah, that's what we was checking out, and killing time during the overtime. But it was uneventful. It was uneventful. Salutes to y'all in the chat. Again, hit the like button. We're gonna kill a little time. Wait for Jay to get up in here. Talk our shit. How do you feel about this conversation? Are we did you vote in our poll that we got in the chat? Hold
I voted for BMF, actually.
on.
I'm messing with you, man. Yeah, it was a short notice, but I'm trying to make it happen, bro. I'm here.
Salutes. Salutes. Um, some people they go, Jay. What up, Jay?
Yo, what up?
Salutes. Appreciate you being
Salute,
here.
bro. God bless. Hope you all as well.
What's poppin'? You had the pizza and the wings too?
I had too much shit. You know how it goes.
All right,
I
so we
usually don't drink either, and I think I had one too many for sure.
ah yeah, it's only right if you got one too many. Again, y'all, this was an impromptu occasion. Uh, we here. We're gonna kick it for a minute. Super Bowl Sunday. The game's over. Kansas City stole it. Did you enjoy the game, Jay?
It was a great game, man. They had me nervous. I'm an underdog usually, but I think Patrick Mahomes deserves it.
Hmm, that's what's up. Bright Buck Outdoors says saludo to P. And for all y'all families, prayers for all y'all families.
Oh, thank you,
God
man.
bless, man. Thank you.
I didn't get to shout my wife again, man. Till I'm thinking about her.
Mm,
I send her all my
I,
love, man.
yeah,
I hope she's
I,
okay.
I was just late right now, but just because Val just got off the phone with me, she was
Yes.
watching the game.
Shout
She
out
was
Viv and
excited.
Val. So then evidently she took over the TV room. She was watching the
Oh, she
game.
took over the TV room for sure. Um,
They
she
had
like,
chicken wings. They had chicken wings and pizza themselves. So
yeah,
that's a blessing.
That's what's up.
yeah,
So
for
shout out
sure.
to
It's some,
Viv and Val with the chicken wings and pizza. They had a good little meal in there. Watch the game. That's what's up. That's what's
yeah,
up.
Yeah, that
for
name
sure.
sounds familiar. I just don't know where.
Which name?
Polo Ochoa. I'm sorry,
Oh,
I'm just talking. Old Third North.
yo, P, you ever heard of Polo Ochoa?
Yes, P. It's Polo, bro. Chava.
Okay.
When I actually my brother doesn't know him, but I know who actually I had some dealings with him. He was probably the biggest persecutor dealer at that time. He supplied all the fucking chemicals for
For what? For
Mayo and
Percocet?
Chapo. Yeah, for Federer.
Oh, huh.
Yeah.
Jay, how you feel about the all these comments and questions about this BMF shit? Now, there's two questions. The first question is, in both y'all's primes, uh, shit, who was getting more? Who was doing more? Who was pushing more?
Oh, you know what? Before I let my brother get at it, I want to say something. Like when it comes to Big Meech and Terry, right? For sure, I think that for the culture, for that era, especially in hip hop, like they were the man, right?
Mm-hmm.
They put like BMF on the map with all the shit they were doing. Like I started hearing about them like in 2001, and they did things like in a big way uh, for the hip hop culture, right?
Right.
But I feel like that was their stamp, right? That's what they wanted to do. Um, and for sure, I think it's gonna go down in history as like one of the most known drug trafficking organizations. As
Super
far as like,
influential.
yeah, super influential. I think that when there's no competition when it comes to who had the most influence or who was probably the most known, um, when it comes to Big Meech and Terry and BMF, for sure they have that title, you know. But in terms when it comes to actual business, I really like, with all due respect to them, I feel like we're on another level, you know, for sure. By far.
Hmm. There's your answer. So we got a poll in the chat. The poll is 100% the Flores twist so far. I don't even know how many votes is
I
on
think that for those people who actually know the business, like, look, a couple of my guys were, you know what I'm saying, actually were a part of their crew and back and forth. But as far as just on our own, us standing alone, I think there's no competition. Just in the coolest way, right? I respect that they didn't tell that they were for the culture, what they did for the music business, right? Me being a part of it, they're like the biggest thing ever, right?
it. Right.
And I used to have these conversations with people in prison all the time, and I used to always say like, you know what? When it comes to the business, right? I really believe that Big Meech and Terry, if they keep it real or they keep it 100, that they would say it on their own. That us and them, when it comes in it, when it comes down to it, that they were like we're at that high drug trafficking level, but in reality, like we never had a middleman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, basically, I respect them. I respect their culture and what they did for actually the culture, right? But we're just on a different level.
Is it another thing that people were asking in the comments, which you know it's is it likely that, and it seems likely, but I might be wrong. Is it likely that work that went through y'all hands ended up over there?
Well, from my understanding, the people they actually dealt with, like me being at that like level, a couple of the associates that were actually part of the organization actually served them through someone else. So just imagine,
Mm,
my brother and I were at that,
right,
um, level, and
In
then
other
they had.
words, you want to say like if they're the plug at the time, then we're the plug's plug, you know?
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
I mean, no, yeah. I mean, what they've done with like the music stuff and putting their name out there. I mean, they got number one there. They remind me of like Nicky Barnes, and back in the day, he's in the cover of the magazine.
Mm,
I don't think that gets you very far because at the end of the day, it's about staying free and making money, and
right,
and that wasn't our thing. I mean, you have to have a certain point of like showing off and let people like know you got it because you're still out there, like your calling card. But at the same time, like it could get ridiculous,
right,
like some of the stuff they were doing was outrageous. Like,
right,
I
and
think, yeah, that's for sure. I think that they did overdid it when it came to. I think that's always about power, and I think they could have caught up. Where, as a matter of fact, if you guys watch the documentary, I don't know them personally, but they got too caught up in the life, and I think for sure Meats did,
Mm-hmm.
and he spent too much time, you know, I think, and energy making sure everyone knew, the whole world knew about him,
Mm-hmm.
which he did a great job because he succeeded in that. But I think my brother and I weren't about, who knew us. I think we were more about like, you know, getting it and being out there. And if people find out who we were, it was only because of what we actually did, not because we actually promoted it.
Right.
In the long run, it's about getting money. I mean, that's why we get in the business. And you think about it, like I don't have to show it off to everybody. You get to a certain point where it wasn't like, let me show you my car. Let me show you how many cars I got.
No, right.
Once you get to a certain level, you're like, whatever, man. I don't even have to bring no cars. I'll be in my fucking Jeep and feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I didn't agree with a lot of the stuff that it's just not my thing to be like just out there just to be out there.
Right.
And I remember watching that video. Was it like in 2005, right around the time they got indicted? I remember it was LimeWire or something like that, and someone was like, "Hey, put it on, look for LimeWire." And I remember watching him say, in that video where he's saying, "Ain't nobody got a crew like that." And I'm just thinking to myself, you don't understand America. You don't understand the business and how huge it is. Atlanta's a small place. It probably has around 1 million people living in it today. Imagine, 20 years ago
Right.
in a
I
city
think it
like
was five
Chicago.
hundred thousand. I think it was 500,000 people in Atlanta
I'm
for
saying
sure.
when I think that my brother and I could easily say we were pushing over 80% of the coke in the city of Chicago, in a big ass city like that,
Right.
with tentacles that go everywhere.
Right.
And I did it. Like I remember people telling me about BMF, and I was just like, okay, whatever, let them get their money wherever they're getting it.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, like the McDonald's situation, consistency always wins, and product, and we always make sure we had the best shit and make sure it kept coming.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have no breaks. We didn't have no, I ain't got it moments. We kept that line going, from you know early 2000s all the way through, and that matters. And when they weren't bringing it, my brother and I decided to get our own trucks, get on the road, and go get it ourselves. I mean, there's just a huge
I
difference. I
just
see that
think
there.
I think for the culture, especially for the like hip hop culture, they're considered to be like the top dogs. But when it comes to business, like um, I don't even think there's like even a argument. Like
Mm-hmm.
when our history, you guys cover our stories. Like we were dealing with the biggest drug lords in the
Yeah,
world.
numbers are numbers.
I mean, that tells you alone. Like we were the ones dealing with the biggest drug lords in the world. The biggest drug lords in the world, like look for us, right? Um, to do business with. So I think that's self-explanatory for sure.
I feel like it's safe to say that the same way you two guys are smart enough that you guys would have thrived in anything that you were able to do in life. I think Meech in the same breath is like a marketing genius. If that guy would have just been legit in the music business, he could have done a lot of big things.
Yeah. You know what? Me and my brother talked about that a lot, about the Big Meat situation, and it's sad because, he's been in prison. That shouts out to him and his family, and it's just crazy because you kind of like do everything in your power. Like he didn't care about the money, he didn't care about, what he had. What he cared about was for the world to know who Big Meat was, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he got caught up in that. And for us, it's like you guys know about us because of what we did or the business or because we cooperated or whatever the case is. But we never took our eye off the ball. It was always about business. It was always about money. And I kind of seen their story kind of like start to contradict and like
I think we lost you, Jay.
Yeah, we lost them.
We definitely lost him. Shout out to the chat. Let's see what we got going on in here. Felix Reyes said y'all had 10 Meeches on the team.
It does feel like that when people say that. I'm not lying to you, man. I had like a monster squad. I felt like I had the dream team of street dudes, you know. And for my brother and I, it was not only about finding them. It was about building them up. We started with people giving them, five birds at a time. Like, here, take your time. Do your thing. Don't do something out the ordinary. Like, kind of like just to grow, like, naturally. Just you'll get there.
Right.
And next, you giving them 100 birds at a time.
Absolutely.
And and then branching out to different places, that was always big for us. And when you're out there, hitting the road, it's kind of like it's scary.
So yeah, you
But
basically get
just
their feet wet and ease them into the game.
yeah, for sure. I see someone says Rayful. Yeah, I know Rayful really good, man. He's like my spiritual brother, man. He's a amazing dude. Yeah, he did. He was messing with um her Griselda Blanco's sons. He been in 30 something years. He's just the most amazing guy. Never didn't have no bodies on his case. Just drug dealing. He had a life sentence, then a 40-year sentence. I mean, it's crazy to think that they ain't let him out yet.
Hmm.
Even Big Meats, like, man, he got 20 years in now. 6 years ago or whatever. It's like, man, it's so much wasted time. Just
Yeah, shout out to Noel De Jesus in the chat. Said he's doing 68. 68
60.
years. He's 19 in.
Man, I'm praying for you, man. I know it's not easy. I met a dude once. And they called Old Timer Joe. He was a big Nuestra Familia dude. He would tell me, I'm like, how much time you have in? He's like, 53 years. I used to be like, damn,
Damn.
53 years. And that was always something we thought about when you're, I was 27 years old, ready to retire. Because I used to think, imagine they caught me today.
Mm,
What's life in prison look like for me? Man, that's a long time.
right.
Big Meech is obviously like a lot older than us. He was doing it for a longer time. But there's different levels to it, that's for sure. I feel like, we started off in the pros in a way.
Mm.
Like a Kobe,
Yeah.
straight to the pros, and trying to stay there was hard.
Yeah, but y'all didn't just skip high. Y'all didn't skip just college. Y'all skipped grammar school,
Mm.
grade school. Y'all went straight to the game.
Yeah, for sure, man. And that's another thing. Like Chucky Chingon was mentioning, Rayful Edmond's story. 18 of his family members went to prison. His mom, his sister, his brother-in-law, his dad. Everyone served 10 plus years at least. His sister did like 18. It's like, man, when you think about the damage the feds did to his whole family, you're like, wow. And that could have been us.
Hmm.
That could have been us. And that's something that used to worry me when the feds start knocking, on your family's door, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna take your house, we're gonna take your cars," and they locked up my sister once working at the business, and it was like, man, how do I, what do you do?
Hmm.
It's something to think about.
And just so you guys know, also big shout out to Rayford, right, and who he was. But I think that going back to BMF stuff, right? Um, I talked to 50 about it, right? And I know that people love to hear about this shit, like the comparison, and I'm sure he's gonna have a lot to say. But um, I think that it just who we are. I think as individuals is just very different, and I think that for America, for sure, especially for the you know African American culture, right? I think that BMF was like the top of what they consider to be successful, and I think for us, I think we were always like, okay, cool, they're doing it great, but that's not something we want. I think we were more about always, uh, the business aspect of it and what we were actually doing for us and our crew. And people asked that. My brother one time mentioned that we had 10 big meets in our crew, and I really feel like we did.
Mm-hmm.
Our guys were all about business, who were doing it for a very long time, and weren't probably as loud as Big Meech, but we're actually getting it probably just the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's hard for people to believe that, but it's like it's the truth.
Right.
And I talked to 50 about it, and 50's always like, I get it, and but people just all they know is Big Meech, But hopefully, with our story and everything we have actually worked that we're actually working on, people are going to get a bigger idea and onto what it is. Again, BMF has an amazing story, right? I watched their show on Stars as well. They had a long run, and for sure they had an impact on pop culture, on the hip hop culture, right? But at the end, it's just another testament of what happens when someone makes it big in the drug game.
Mm. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, you'd probably wish that there were more Easy E stories. You know, the dudes that took a little bit of money, put it in something, and then made something happen. But it's like I guess the drug game is kind of like the fight game. Fighters stick around sometimes a little bit too long.
Yeah, and can I ask you something? Just and what really? How would you want to relate the stories? I mean, in which level? Because obviously, for 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 BMF and the black community and hip hop, it's like it's always out there,
Mm-hmm.
and but urban, I feel like we all come from inner cities, and we were
Mm-hmm.
doing
Yeah,
big things in our own way,
I'm basically taking it from where the comments have been coming from. You know, it's they asked that question very vaguely and openly. You know what I'm saying? But to me, again, the same way there's levels to the game, there's levels to the approach on this. I believe that as far as numbers, stop it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a
Mm-hmm.
conversation that nobody has to believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? The numbers are the numbers. Again, as far as influence goes, they are absolutely influential. I mean, if they weren't so influential, we wouldn't be having this conversation, and people wouldn't be asking about it as much as they have. Um,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
um,
agree there. As far as the numbers, I'm gonna tell you something like this. Me being more understanding to what the game is and understanding who actually supplied them. There's just no competition. They could say whatever they want about how much keys they sold or what they did, but when it comes to the numbers, I mean,
and that's the thing.
and
I
what
don't
we
hear
were
it from
doing and
them.
who we were dealing with, it's just we were just on a different level. And by far, I will say, and I say this like not. I know it's gonna sound kind of like too cocky, but for sure, until now, from when we were there to today, I think my brother and I ran the most successful drug trafficking organization in the country, in the U.S. history. Just to make it clear, I just there's no one even close to us.
I mean, the indictment will say it all, man. If you think about it, my brother and I were the little dudes in my indictment with huge names. You know what I mean?
But
I mean,
Yes, I
it's
think
weird that to have that out there. Like, yeah, you see your name, alongside all these other dudes, and sometimes it kind of even hits you. Like, it's just a crazy story,
hmm.
Because I was a
I,
kid in Chicago, hearing certain people's names, and they were always, like far on the distant, like, just
yeah, I
never
think
imagined that we would be there.
for the diamond, just to let you know, the people we're actually dealing with and the people we're around with. I mean, in total, I think you could say that the Sinaloa cartel as a whole was pushing anywhere between, 30 to 50 tons,
Tons,
all right, guys, a month,
tons.
all right? And the fact that we were dealing with these people and there were like our associates and, it's just different, So again, when I say that, even us, we were probably a small part of a bigger picture, you know what I
Right.
mean? And I don't think that those names are going to be mentioned in those type of stories, right?
Yeah, somebody had mentioned that another option was La Barbie because he was born here.
So in terms of the Barbie, like I met him. I'm not gonna say he was a friend of mine, but I had dealings with him. Again, Barbie was not your business person. Your Barbie was in a special place because he was Arturo Bertrand Leiva's top lieutenant, not because of business, because he was a killer, because he ran a hit squad. He had that special place, but there's two different. sides of it.
Mm.
I know people ask about Chino Anthrax, and I want to make it real clear. Yeah, we met him, we were around him, especially like I was around him, but he wouldn't be able to be in our conversation when I was around. You know, I make it real clear. There's the hitman, and there's those type of people. I don't care how close you were to the bosses or to boss and sons. You're in another table, and we were at the table,
Mm.
right? If that makes it clear.
Mm-hmm.
So like they were not even preview to what we were actually talking about, or you know, the business we're actually doing with them.
But they get work. I mean, the man was giving them work. Anthrax. Javier Torres at one time and Manuel Torres. They were, of course, they were, selling work for them. In a different level. When my brother said that, I want to explain to you, like we go from, receiving hundreds and hundreds of keys every week in Chicago to like making deals for tons at a time.
Mm.
Like who could say that? Who could say I got 1,500 bricks going across the,
Mm-hmm.
I'm crossing them over tomorrow and the next day, and then I'm gonna have them in Chicago 5 days later. I mean,
Um,
that's
yeah,
the kind of difference we're talking about.
Right.
and even for people who were as close, like Chino Antes being as close to Zambada as he was, he again, everyone has their place, and for all those people who think that you got to be gangster and be a killer, like those killers didn't sit with us. I'm just
Mm.
making it real clear. They sat and look, and we're more cautious about being security than actually being in the business table. So there's two different worlds. And now let me see, I see a comment out there about Craig Pettis. Funny stories that I actually ran into Craig Pettis when he was actually living in Mexico. Again, he was one of Barbie's um,
Customers.
customers. Again, and I will say this, me being a close associate to Arturo Bertan Leiva, Arturo Bertan Leiva, Barbie was one of his top lieutenants. He had a lot of love for him as a sicario, as a hitman, as one of those persons. He wasn't looked at as a businessman. If anything, I feel like there's a handicap there. Like because you were that person, you had a business like a benefit, if that makes any sense.
A lot of super goons.
Oh, for sure. And that's why I always say, like you hear about all the super goons, right? For sure, killers, gangsters, whatever you want to call them. But
Right.
again, if there's two different worlds, there's the business part of it, and then there's the gangster part of it. For the most part, my brother and I were 100% business, and because of that, we were on a different level. Because at the end of the day, a cartel, a drug trafficking organization, it's all about the business, right? The Sicarios, hitmen are replaceable. That's easy.
Hmm. Let me check in with the chat real quick. Let's see who we got here. Anybody new walked into the room? Vicente, salute to you. Let them have more work. Big Meech was paying, blah, blah, blah. We're going to fly through these. LV is out there. Real estate lifestyle, salute to you. Albert Flores, salute to you. Alexis Garcia. Uh, and the rest of the usual suspects in the building. Mr. Eddie Jimenez, salute to you. 323G, appreciate you being here. Hit that like button. 23 likes, 35 concurrent viewers. Let's get them likes to match them numbers. I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate the twins being here again. It's 8 days later, and we're here kicking the bobos, talking that shit. And y'all are here with us, and we appreciate y'all being here. It's Super Bowl Sunday. You could be anywhere in the world, but we hanging out. And again, thank you to P and J for being here.
And
And
thank
thank
you
you
for
for having
having
us.
us. Man, I'm really trying to get your channel up. And I do want to tell you, like, we're 50 when we have this conversation. I will say this: I'm confident, and I think that our people are going to actually help accomplish this. Is that if everything works out the way it's been, going, that who's going to have the best, TV series?
Mm.
I'm 100% confident that we will have probably the number one show that's going to be bigger than BMF, bigger than Power, and that's because it's the culture, right? It's our people.
Mm.
I think we bring, the Latin, Hispanic era, along with, what the culture is. I think I'm confident about that as well. It has been done, and I have to respect that they actually did it. They put the story on TV. I watch it, I keep up with it. it's gonna be a little bit different from theirs, but that's their story, and I'm a fan looking from afar, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. Again, I believe that there's so much room for so much with this story that the possibilities are endless, and you'd have to do some real hard work to mess it up. You know what I'm saying? And um, BMF's been successful, Power Universe been successful, Greenlight Gang as a whole has been successful. So I expect nothing. I expect nothing but exponential growth, and this is the story that can lead to that. I see years down the line of we're gonna be here a while doing after shows, y'all.
Man, I can't wait to see Chicago out there on the big screen, like in a real way. I'm excited about that, and tell that different side of the story. We see people in New York and all over the place, have their stories out. I
Right.
feel like it's our turn, that's for sure. And I see some people in the comments. Jay, man, some dude named Traffic saying, "What's up?"
Traffic. Oh,
Yeah.
traffic. What up? I'm gonna tell you, I ran across a bunch of people that I was actually in prison with. Um, I hope they're all doing good, especially someone like Traffic. Shouts out to him and all those people I was in prison with, who I tried to mentor. And I told them that, what was coming, and I'm sure they're laughing about it right now. But um, I'm really looking forward to for sure putting chi on the map. I tell 50 all the time, this is not even just about Chi-Town, this is about the culture, right? About Hispanics, us getting a chance to put real people on TV where you don't have to watch Univision, Telemundo, right? And
Mm.
Shai, this goes out to you. You're acting. I'm thinking about what it can mean to actors just like you, inspiring actors, right? That we could actually put people who understand what it was to be born and raised in those type of environments, and actually being able to put them on the screen and tell real life stories. Like, hell yeah, it pisses me off when I see the Ozarks being number one, and they take a story from what, like, Mexican cartels, and they turn into this white America story, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, that bothers me. You get me? I
Mm-hmm.
feel like, man, at least give us a chance to put a real story out there where Hispanics benefit in a way that it's not always getting the bad credit, right?
Mm.
Um, and that's what I'm about for sure.
Yeah, and be able
Absolutely.
to tell them intricate stories about how really the Latin culture, the Black culture do come together and make money, man. It's sad to see everybody fighting. Everybody's about themselves, and like I said before, the cartel don't work that way. When it's successful, it's because a bunch of people come together, to work for that one thing, that's to be successful, to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Now you see everyone wants to, be the man out there. Everybody,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's like, it feels like they want to be Tony Montana. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work that way. My brother and I always had an attitude of, building relationships, and bridges, and how could we, continue to make money. It was about the long term, playing the long game always. You know, no egos.
Right. And I've been watching a lot of videos and listening to a lot of stories. I've been listening. Y'all could check out uh Okran Leaks on YouTube. OCRANLEAKS. I've been watching those videos and I be thinking that he tells in depth stories about stuff that went down um in the cartel. And I think about that. I think about the Italian mob. I think about a lot of criminal organizations, and it all comes down to the human condition destroying everything. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be
Yeah.
ego, whether it be jealousy, whether it be disrespect, racism, silliest small
Hmm.
petty things, just crumbling empires. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's the story for that LV was asking about Roberto Carrillo and about Chapo. I mean, the story goes is that so the last thing that did it was that he didn't shake Chapo's hand. And I think
I mean,
100,000
I mean, there's
people died
there's
after that.
yeah, there's a lot more to it, but for sure, I think that Rodolfo Carrillo was a killer. He wouldn't
Yeah.
respect.
Or Rodolfo, I said Robert.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rodolfo Carrillo was a killer. He didn't respect some of the rules, and he was picking up and killing. associates of the group, and without asking for permission.
Mm.
And he felt like he didn't have to ask for permission. But I think what drew the line was when he wanted to shake Capo's hand, and that started a war that probably killed way over 100,000 people, and probably killed friends of ours.
Hmm.
Just because he disrespected the group, and it caused a lot of issues inside the cartel as a whole. But it just goes to show you that at the end of the day, it's going to be what they decide, and everyone who is involved of it. If you're not a boss, and you just gotta live with it and cause a bunch of problems.
Hmm.
Yeah, so during those times, the crews worked together, man. Even through Juarez, which the Juarez cartel ran. I mean, they worked together. They were allowed to, they shared the expenses of running the border, and everyone could traffic drugs through there.
Hey,
So it was a big loss to the business overall, when once these things happen.
hey guys, I want to say big what's up to Sam Germ. It's funny because I mentored Sam. I try to tell him each and every day, and I'm gonna tell you, uh, for Sam and Germ and the comments, I never changed who I was. I was the same person in the street, same person in prison, and just to make it clear that I ran that shit. And Sam Germ will tell you, ain't no one tell me what to do. And big shouts out to him. I hope he's doing well. Him and his family, his girl. Yeah, they know that I was actually locked up with Javier Arellano Felix, and he was my really close friend for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy how he pops up in your cell. That's nuts.
Yeah, that's a crazy story. A big man. He's always
Well,
gonna be a part of it.
he was
10 years
blessed.
I did with him.
I got stuck with Sammy the Bull. Hey, well, listen, and somebody else asked about the race. Honestly, I think that being Mexican is important, but man, we got people from everywhere, from Colombia, Honduras, Guatemala, you know, Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, Costa Rica. Everyone's involved in the game to a certain point, and you got Puerto Ricans and Cubans. You don't have to be Mexican. You got to be a good businessman. I mean, you had Canadians down there, doing business with the bosses. It wasn't, all, just a race thing. It's about, like Val likes to say in her show, green.
Hey, that was about to be- Hey, old 30 North. Well, I'm gonna tell you why there was a drought because we went to prison.
Hmm.
Plain and simple.
That seems it. 2008 right there.
Yeah. I see that Eddie Jimenez. Shout out to you. You worked at Farragut. Navita. I'm sure we know the same peeps, but that's where I went to high school. Big shouts out to Kevin Garnett, Ronnie
I
Fields,
was
with
just
them
gonna say,
when we
didn't
were
Kevin
actually
Garnett,
there.
Ronnie Fields go there? Yeah,
Um,
Farragut.
he was a really good friend of ours, um, for sure. Sam, what's up with Colorado? He never let go of those dreams, man. I hope it worked out for you.
So at the end of the day, I mean, it's always and it always will be and it always has to be, and I guess that's life, a cautionary tale because you know just think of that one story. You just said 100,000 people, right? Let's throw that number out there. Just one guy's bloodthirst and rage and anger and emotions and power trip and all of that, right? That leads to tension, that leads to a non-shaking hand, that leads to 100,000 people, and it's like there's no lack of people to
Yeah,
burn.
I think my brother and I used to always say like people don't understand like man, my respects to Chapo, Mayo, and Arturo Bertan, but at the end of the day, we idolize these people. But once we sat by them, I remember my brother be like, "Yo, bro, we take this shit over quick, for
Mm.
real." But
But, we did business with a lot of people. Like, we don't mention, like, when they talk about the head of the Sinaloa cartel, like, there was a Nacho Coronel, and the Valencias were huge in that,
Millennial
Man,
Cartel,
Leno
Manuel
Cartel,
Fernandez,
Manuel
um,
Fernandez, El Animal, La Puerca, which was my, it's weird. He was gonna baptize my daughter. Me and him were super tight. There's so many,
Los
those Queenie.
Queenies. I mean, man,
Um,
we could go down the list. Jose Tirso, big time dudes bringing 10, 15 tons at a time. Like people that you guys were never even imagine to hear about. Um, all were part of our group. You get me? That made this shit happen some way somehow. You know?
Mm.
And we took chances, man. Like I said, we were young. When I think back, I was in my 20s. I think how much we matured and learned. And it's scary to think we're out there doing these things and we managed to somehow
Right.
survive it and be here today. But, you know, we're always looking for better ways, man. We're always like, we know we had the buses with the stashes, we had semi trucks, we had fucking boats, we had a train, you know,
Fucking submarines, tunnels,
and
like can you
whatever we could
imagine?
do to make that, you know, and it's like a lot of people don't want to invest back in their business.
Mm.
And you know, my brother and I was always like, to us, it was like a business. Like always, you know, we were always doing it. It wasn't like we weren't like thinking of retiring next year or getting caught. We are like, okay, how are we gonna set this up to get the next 20 tons in?
Mm.
You know, in the future. And I mean, it kind of like it was a stressful way to live. And it's funny how you say that. I remember we were gonna buy some work from someone once, and he kind of bullshit. He took too long. We're gonna buy in Guadalajara, and I kind of just said, forget. I'm not gonna wait for him.
Mm.
I mean, the dude in between, the little hitman dude, that he got offended by me, you know,
Mm.
and he kept like giving me signs, like saying for his boss that he sliced his own throat, and I was like, I started to get bothered at him, like you know,
Mm.
and but I had my guy with me too, my guys, and my guys kind of felt him started to get a little like
Mm.
he was drinking, you know, and I remember thinking like just like that over something so stupid, you know. Now I'm watching my back over a dude like him, you know.
Right. And that's around every corner.
Yeah, around every corner, you don't even realize that you offended someone or you someone was a little envious or
Right.
and now you know you're he wants to come smoke you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No. It's again we're in that game, and it seems every empire it's man's carnal desires and man's the human condition that just they fall off, man. They get to the top, they get a little too crazy, they do a little too
Mhm.
much, and there's no turning back.
Yeah, it's always gonna be about the fucking dumbass shit, and we will always try to be nice and be like cordial about it and try to work things out.
Right.
But it's always like it never worked out, man.
Silly shit.
It's always gonna be the shit that doesn't even matter. That's gonna probably ruin everything, and
Mm.
that's just the way the business was. Like even though we could be the best business people ever, there's always someone's attitude or someone's dumb shit that ruined everything. And I think that's what people don't understand. Like fucking politics and dumb shit always ruin, what we were supposed to be there for, which was, to make the money.
Right.
And
And that if you go to that Oakland Leaks, like they'll tell you the real shit about how people get treated. You know, they're there taking care of you, or you with the people one day, and for some reason, some like we talk about some dumbass excuse. Them same people that are supposed to be protecting you are the ones fucking, you know, wiping you clean. You know, they talk about that dude Nini took all dude's cars and his jewelry. You know, they can't wait for that. You know,
That
they're
power to
wolves for
bully
real.
everybody.
They're wolves for real. They just can't wait. You know,
yeah,
to get
but
any
uh, but
reason.
but it's weird because it's the same way for the gang culture, right? You know the way it is, Shy.
Mm-hmm.
Gang culture, there's a dude that calls the shots, and there's whatever the case is. But once that person decides to change his mind, right, it's open season. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It's just
Absolutely.
like it's weird because the streets will eat you up alive. All those people you call your friends, man, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? If it's not him snitching on you, it's him robbing you, it's him having envious, it's about the girl shit. And I think that for sure our story kind of gives a good example of all that stuff, right? But I think us just being straight up and honest, kind of is able to bring what the streets are, to life and to be able to speak about it out loud. But I want to tell you, hey, Traffic Man, much love for you, bro. Sam Germ. I was actually thinking about today being Super Bowl Sunday. I used to always make sure that everyone ate on Super Bowl Sunday, make sure everyone had a good meal. I would do party mixes and grab bags just to make sure everyone had a good time in prison. I always think about all those people I left behind, and I'm sure that it's being missed right now, and it doesn't, uh, there's not one day I don't think about that shit. It was hard for me actually. just to leave everybody behind, and all those people that kind of stood there, um, and I know I was going to be missed in a way because I knew what I meant to them. So, much love to all those people who are still locked up for sure.
Yeah, it's funny that people take that everything you just said or everything that maybe Sam Germ will say in the comment, and then they'll say, uh, yeah, they were extorting Jay. He was feeding everybody. He was, you know what I'm saying? That's that Sammy the
Nah,
Bull type, that Sammy
yeah.
the Bull type mentality. Like you do somebody something for somebody, and then they turn around and they say it in a manner that isn't what it was. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
it's
saying?
funny because they were shy, but I'm gonna keep it real. Like everyone knows,
Shit.
I used to tell everybody, and people, I was always shy, but when it came to that type of shit, I was out loud, and I would always used to tell everybody, man, I'm gonna play nice, but don't get it fucked up, and
Right.
and I'm gonna tell you, ain't no matter where I went, and I know this is gonna offend people, and I know what I'm doing. I was always boss, no matter where I went. I don't give a fuck where I was at. Until that date it changes, then I'll let you guys know. But wherever I went, I was boss, and that shit wasn't happening.
Spe-
Come on, guys.
Speaking of that,
Um,
let's talk about the. So this week we had a little moonwalking happen. I'm sure that the moonwalking is going to be denied, but for those that don't know, Spider Loke showed up in the comments. Spider Loke showed up in the comments, and the story has changed yet again. I, through the technology of the day. That's another quick question. While I'm looking up this image, how do y'all feel? This was Jonathan Pantoja. He was trying to get this in the other day. How do y'all feel about the difference between phones? That you guys ran around with 50 phones in a sack, but then the technology when you came home was so different. Did you instantly look at it like, oh, we needed this? This would have been a relief, or did your brain work to the point where it saw it and said, oh, we could have done this, and this using this technology?
well, it's funny because I think just that. I look at what the game is. I look at what's going on. Now I'm like, well, I would have done this, or that for sure. And now, too bad that I'm actually putting it into play as a consultant, right? I actually had to. I was fortunate enough to have the blessing and the opportunity, which is still unbelievable to me, that I was able to sit down and work with Congress, right, in Capitol Hill this past week. I think that was big for people might not believe it, but for the culture to understand where I came from, right? And the doors I have opened up for me to be able to put something that was so bad into a positive way. Um, that's been one of the topics, but for sure, I think that technology and all that, I think naturally, as I see it, as I know what's going on, like for sure, it's just natural for me to say, I would have done this, I would have done that. I'm not sure for my brother, I never asked him that.
No, it's amazing to have these, smartphones, and we were up always trying to stay on top of the technology and see how it could help us and make things easier. I tell everybody, before that, the cartels invented remote working way before they started all this shit. Like you literally, in one place and doing business in different countries and making it happen.
Right.
But the phones would have been amazing to be able to have all these things we have now. Too bad we just use them to watch YouTube and shit. I'm lying to you, but yeah, man, you come in and you see, I like reading and stuff. So I was always into, the magazines and the business magazines and seeing what was new and starting my own business. Getting home. I mean, just it's amazing how much things you can get done on a phone and everything's at your fingertips and and taking advantage of it. That's for sure.
Jay, you want to talk a little bit more about your trip to we saw you speak to that congressman the other day. You got another interview coming with this other cat. You can mention his name. I don't remember his name right now. I know I've seen him in some heavy videos and some heavy confrontational videos. And how people feel, people that'll say, "Hey, you've become a sheriff, bro." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't care what people say. I think
Mm,
everyone lives their life however it is. They're gonna be good guys and bad guys. for my brother and I, like we always respected the other side. Um, we just try to beat them at it each and every day.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
right.
And
So somebody
that's
said in
just
the
the.
chat the other day that they were like, "Yo, one of those checkpoints that the congressman was talking about." So they said Jay probably gonna have his name on that thing. So that's a mission.
So my mission, I'm gonna be honest with you. Ever since it started, this like I know we talk about chess all the time, but I never considered it till once I learned it. But I'm like 5 steps ahead.
Mm,
My goal is to one day have an inspection site with my name on it. They
mm,
said it right, and I told that to my class, to each one of my classes, from the first one, to the last one, that my goal is to have my name on one of the inspection sites going south to a border, and I expressed that to the committee in Congress, and I think that at the end of the day, it's like I'm my whole objective to actually doing this is to get back to do. I'm on the other side of it, and when I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it to the fullest. I'm gonna do it to where I feel like I want to be the most successful, the most inspiring, and person to bring change, and that's my goal. To me, every time somebody tells me you're not going to be able to do it, I didn't plan on meeting with the committee and being part of Congress. Maybe for another 2 years. It happened a little bit faster than I actually thought. Like to me, it's like I'm fortunate and I'm privileged to be able to help them out, and I continue to be able to hopefully help them out as a consultant and guide them in what I feel that needs to be done to combat drug trafficking. And to all those people who feel like, oh, well, you're being this, you're being that, like I'm being exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
mm,
It's not about me, trying to promote bad. It's about me trying to promote good, especially for the culture.
right.
I want people to realize that, coming from where I came from, and I know people always say comments and try to compare themselves to like, oh, I know someone who didn't do this, didn't do that. Listen, me and my brother were probably the most successful drug traffickers in U.S. histories, right? Make that clear. Like, it's hard. If you compare me to someone in that level, then I understand. But when it comes to where we're at today, I feel like we do this for a reason. There's no winning that game. Prison's full of failed drug traffickers, criminals, etc. I get it. At the time, we feel like that's the only choice we have. And I actually expressed this to Representative Crenshaw from Texas, who man, smart guy. I have a different view of him. Some of the questions he asked me, I feel like were never asked before. And I really feel he's about making change for all the youth, for all those people who are considered drug trafficking. He wants that to stop. Hopefully, that could be, um, a help with that because it's not always about laws and prison time. It's always about trying to give people a chance. And I think that if you look at it that way, because we all have kids, and Shy, you don't have kids yet, and hopefully one day you'll have kids, and you'll think about, well, what side do you want to be for me to be on? Do you want me to be on the side where I just jump on here and try to glorify this drug trafficking in this world,
Mm,
or do you want me to be in the side where it'll be where your children it becomes a little bit harder to get drugs for them to get addicted and actually go onto the wrong path?
mm.
And I think that in reality of it is like this is about life. This is not about me trying to be a big me to try to glorify shit. This is about real shit that I've been through, and no one will ever convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
Well
I mean, at
said.
the end of the day, my brother has a lot of point. We got into this business young, and you grow up, man. You evolve. Like when I
Mm,
started hustling, I didn't have no kids. I didn't have a wife. It was like whatever happened, fuck it. It's better than being broke in this fucking hood. My only goal was to get out the hood. I think my brother would agree. I see that's my nightmare to wake up and I'm back in the hood, like back where I started. I mean, that's the worst. I feel like that's PTSD at its fullest for me. But you evolve, man. You can't be the same person your whole life. You can't be a 50-year-old man with, a 21-year-old mentality when you got kids that depend on your wife, and what did they didn't ask for that. They didn't ask for all these things that we're putting our kids through.
mm,
My heart hurts for them. I see them without their mom every single day I wake up and I know they're missing their mom and I know how much their mom is missing them. Like this is what the life brings, though. You
Mm,
know, and it's sad because we don't always take it until it happens.
mm,
You know, and you could build your empire, make that money, stack it, and the feds are gonna come take it. They're
right.
gonna leave you with shit. You're gonna be in prison. And if you don't have a wife like our wives, they're stuck through us and we're there to support us, and man, they did the unthinkable for us. You know, you're gonna be out there mad when they're they move on with the next dude.
Mm,
It's a horrible experience. Or the other part of this, when you make it that big, if you're really unlucky, they fit you in a little suitcase, cut into pieces and leave you on
mm,
the side of the road.
hmm.
Y'all ever see that? That's real life right there. You ever see that? You ever see a
Yeah,
human head just
I
laying right
want to
there?
I want to add that to that shit just to let you know. I was listening to Cartel Wife. I feel like if you pay attention, they were a little bit ahead of the game what they were actually describing. What you see today on Cartel, TikTok, and all that shit,
Mm,
bro. That was our life in 2005,
mm,
2006. You guys are getting a glimpse of it today, and that shit's no joke. You know, especially us coming from Chicago. Like, look, man, it's a gangster city, right?
mm,
We've been through it all. It's just on a different level. I think that for the most part, what we fail to realize is that gangsters ain't never themselves. They always try and portray. You don't know who's actually doing it for, you know, to show face or who they really are. And me and my brother never changed, bro. And those people who been like that with me, I never changed my personality. The way I sound right now is the way I sounded in prison. The way I sounded when I was in Chicago. The way I sounded when we were in Mexico in the mountains. And that is me being real, who I
mm,
am today. For those people who actually know us, it wouldn't be surprising to us that I'm doing what I'm doing. I
mm,
know a little bit better. I'm like, and it's gonna sound too cocky or it's gonna sound arrogant, but that's I think our message with our story, with our life. Shy, I told you this before, right?
mm,
We climbed a mountain that no one's ever climbed, and we came running back, and no one is asking actually why. And hopefully through our projects, through our help with 50 Cent and putting some of our life, in the big stream, and that it's going to actually be able to, explain it.
mm,
Yeah, for sure. And about the money thing, man. Look, my brother and I came in. We forfeited over $40 million, in cash. Like, when people get to that, like, holla at me. You know what I'm saying? For you to understand that, when you get to that point, it's kind of hard to leave that behind for the unknown. And it takes a lot of fucking balls to do it, and you got to have a lot of good reasons for it. And I'm gonna tell you, I look at my kids and my wife, and that's all I needed to see. Just to be able to be there for them.
And just
You
to
know,
make it clear, Sai, that shit, the way it's done in the paperwork, that little $5 million, whatever the case is about a wife forfeit, then if you go back down in the paperwork and you see all those forfeitures, those were not forfeitures, bro. Those were like, or confiscation. Those were me and my brother cooperating and us forcing to have given them that money, and we gave it up voluntarily, and to us that shit didn't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
At the end of the day.
yeah,
Salutes
it's
to you
just
guys. Salutes to the chat. Get them likes up. Y'all getting exclusives right here. These brothers is sharing their time, their story with you and with me, and I appreciate them for it. So let's get them likes up. We got 50 concurrent viewers. Let's get them 29 likes up to closer to 50. I appreciate you all for being here. Again, I appreciate the twins. I don't want to hold them too long. There's just one more thing I want to touch on real quick. Well, first, real quick, let's talk about this. They're always asking, is it a foregone conclusion that eventually down the line the TV show will happen?
Uh,
It
I
does,
think that for sure. I'm gonna tell you
you don't
something.
have to. You don't have to. You don't have to nail none down. But in your thought, do you think
Look,
that it's
we're
possible
working.
that in the near future the TV show happens?
We're working on a documentary right now. I'm gonna tell you something. I respect the 50, right? Um, and he when it comes to business, he knows exactly what he's doing.
Mm,
Everything is happening for a reason, but for sure, we always talk about it. That I believe that our upcoming TV series is probably going to be the number one show. It's going to be bigger than Power, bigger than BMF, bigger than anything he has done, especially when it comes to the Latin community, and everyone that, I feel like the audience for sure is gonna
Show up.
gravitate to it. And you said it plenty of times, right? Um, our life is stranger than fiction,
Stranger than
right?
fiction.
You can't make this shit up. And 50 himself has stated plenty of times, like, look, I don't need someone to make anything up. I just need someone to tell the story.
Shit.
And I think that you know, it's up to Hollywood and what 50 does, but I'm confident it's gonna actually happen. And
Yeah.
I'm helpful that well, I'm actually just looking forward to the possibility of putting, Latin American artists, and actresses, actors on TV for an American told story, especially people like you, Shy, you know, people from Chicago that are for the culture, that are in acting, that our stories are gonna be told like we're some LA cholos or New York gangsters. Nah, I think that for Chicago we have our own. Uh, we're our own people. We have our own style, our own way of speaking, and I think that I want to put that in the map. I want to be able for Hispanics to actually be able to turn on TV and don't have to go to Telemundo or Univision, to see
Mm.
people that look like them.
Right.
You know.
They said it, y'all. Bigger than power, bigger than BMF, bigger than all of that. See me, I be loving to have my opinion up on here and tell everybody how I feel about what shows are the best and who's doing the best jobs. But that should have keep me out of jobs. You know what I'm saying? So I keep my opinion to myself. I'm on my business. You know what I mean?
Well, I think you could be a great addition, man, to that show. And my brother and I be talking about it. If I could ask for one favor, shot, I might ask that they put you on, bro.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. I'll deliver. At the end of the day, I'll deliver. I won't make you look bad. I promise.
And just to set the record straight, I don't know Chai really. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't, so people don't think that you kind of put the show, together just for us. I don't know him until he started the show. I know of him though. I know who, where he was at and who he was with.
Yeah, like the people that know what's
Yeah.
authentic, and I don't even have to. And I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate you guys for it. You know what I'm saying? We're here, we doing. There was somebody that was in the chat the other day. Were like, I didn't believe this was happening. And then I checked in, and it checked out, and I was like, man, it's always gonna check out. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? The
Hey,
delivery
I'm
system.
gonna keep it real, just to make it clear. I reached out to Shy. Shy didn't want to talk to me at first. He said he was totally against snitches. I had to
Ah,
convince him.
I had to know. I had to hear the whole truth and the whole story and nothing but the truth. Right? Listen here. To me, again, I'll say this again and I'll reiterate this. I go pull a roll with you right now, dog. I go keep my mouth shut. If there's a chance that you getting home, cool, whatever. That's just who I think my character is. You know what I'm saying? What they
All right,
went.
Shy.
What?
Let's put the scenario.
Mm,
You go and you walk in a restaurant, and I'm little ninja and everybody, right? Looking for trouble.
mm-hmm.
Now you got to go do something because had a big mouth and I put you in a bad situation. And now you're going to jail and I'm out free. How would you feel about that?
Well, I probably I don't know, man. Put a bag on you. You know what I'm
Now I'm just
saying?
saying, imagine that a
I'm
different
sending my
scenario. Not
brother after you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
now I'm just saying those scenarios like it's not
Yeah,
always just
it's
like that.
never cut and dry. It's never one of those things. It's something that's inbred in us and it's putting us young. You know what I'm saying? You keep
Mm-hmm.
your mouth shut. You don't talk. I don't like the guy that wants to pander to the cop on the way to the station. Just shut your ass up. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I don't see this story and that being the same fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? This is a
What's
totally
weird is that
different.
my brother and I were like, first of all, telling everybody, look, go ahead, man, make a deal. They don't give a shit about y'all. They want us. Just tell them everything.
I think we
People
spent
were
more money. We spent more money sending attorneys to them, trying to get them to tell.
Mm,
Uh, and some of them wouldn't listen. I guess
hmm,
I'm gonna tell you something. One of my guys, a real close guy, one of my guys, I remember I had to get on the phone with him, and I remember telling him this. I said, "Hey, yo, bro, you know, a couple weeks ago, if I would have told you to jump out the bridge and you would have been good, what would you have done?" He said, "Shit, jumped out the bridge." And I was like, "Shit, then jump off, motherfucker."
He's a
And
jumper.
yeah,
he said, "Done." That dude didn't do not one day in prison, right? And for those people who didn't, there's a lot of shit. Just some of my guys were not unfortunate and took the hard road and got life, 30 years plus. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Everyone has a choice. You know what I'm saying?
So,
I
it's February 11th. 2 days ago, my man Gus Campos got caught with a load of like 370 keys.
Jeez.
He got life sentence. And I think about him all the time, man. It's been
uh,
20 years. I think about the
I
last day I seen him, and it just, what could we do for him, man? And when he first, tried to make a deal, I was like, man, well, I expected him to make a deal. He was looking at a life sentence,
Mhm.
I mean,
As a
what could
matter of
we
fact,
do?
I just to add to that, I remember him writing to us that a year later, like, is it okay for me to tell? And I'm like, man, sent the lawyer to him like, tell, bro, you should have been told. And he took the hard road, and I think about him all the time as well. Good guy, first time offense, uh, good dude, bro,
That's what I'm saying.
smart
People say,
guy.
oh, you could have got 10 years. His first time offense, non-violent offender, doing life in
Bro,
prison.
I don't
He's
understand it.
20 years
Yeah,
into
but
it.
what people don't understand when people say, "Oh yeah, they could have done," they're like, "Bro, you know what you're talking about? You're talking." The fact that you even mentioned that is stupid. I will tell you this: 5 years statute of limitations. They lock up 10 of my guys in the street. I'm looking at CCE. I'm never coming home. We were born into this shit. Not like everyone else. We didn't pick up on it later. We were born into shit.
Well, the whole reason I brought it up because again, we had a development yesterday where uh, Spider Loke popped up in the chat.
Man, I think we're giving Spider a little too much fucking credit. He's gonna listen to this shit.
You think
And
so?
and
Well, let's
yeah,
let's
bro.
let's give the final. Let's put the. I'm gonna put the final pin in it because it's a backtrack. All right, it's a
What
backtrack
was his little saying? I'm my mama's mama.
on my
What was it
mama's
saying?
mama.
I'm a mama, mama.
Facts over
And
feelings.
all right, Shaq, how about this? How about we keep it to the streets? The fact that he thinks and he's supposed to be a streeter. Let's just keep it 100. I want to make it real clear. I know my gang history. I know that Chicago
Mm,
created what the gang culture in LA is was like. Just to make it real clear, they created the Bloods, they created the Crips. Go back, and for him to think that one of them dudes would have a say so in a city like Chicago, when I say that I didn't even have a say so, and I felt like I ran the city for a long time,
right,
is ridiculous.
right.
And that goes back to show you he's supposed to be a gangster. And the fact that he even says those things is stupid.
But I
I'm gonna
think
tell you,
that goes back with that whole hip hop persona. Like everybody like saying like, you know, everyone got goons and I don't know, man. It's just why you. I don't understand it, bro. I don't know. I mean, I never had one of my guys on the team saying I'm a rapper. First of all, if he told me that, I would have been like, "Give me back my shit, bro. Go
All right.
rap."
So for the
I know,
chats,
dude.
go ahead, go ahead.
I know dudes who had labels and who were signing dudes who had paper. Everybody was doing the same thing, like K and everybody, my brother doing it, but like saying, "Oh, I'm the rapper and I got my own goons gonna go kill people for me because whatever reason just to do it. It makes no sense to me.
Right.
Or
So
that
yeah.
I would listen to
And
someone that and be
Shaq,
like,
all I'm saying is that for him, he talks about what he was, whatever he was, a crip or blah, whatever he was,
and he was a
for
fly on
him,
the wall, bro. Get it
yeah,
but
right.
yeah. See,
for him to go back and kind of just like go around the what gang culture is like, if you were anywhere involved in it, for him to think that he had it like that is a joke. And the fact that he didn't want to come on, and I thought it would be cool if he would have come on
right.
to
So
your
for the
show and just
audience
speak
sake,
about
because
it.
they don't know, because the audience doesn't know, so he popped up in the chat. He popped up in the comments on one of the videos, and he made a statement to somebody in the video. In the comments, and the first statement I believe was, hold on one sec. I lost it here for a second. Give me 1 second. The first one, he was responding to somebody else that said that he seemed like he was lying. What did I do with it?
He said 50 was like, nah, if I'm not
Right, right.
mistaken.
Well. The dude, the first dude said that he was lying, and he was like, "Nah, 50 said this, that." So it's like now you're putting it on 50, Here we go right here. So here it is. It says it sounded like Spider was lying. He has a weird demeanor, and I said it's definitely not the whole truth. And he popped in and he said, it's all I know. I knew it wasn't true that they withheld work to obtain it. I learned later they actually did get it, but bought it. I'd never lie. I've always said everyone involved was a stranger to me. I'm not from Chicago. No reason to lie, though.
Yeah, but
Okay.
that fact that that's not what he said. He said he had Suge Knight call someone for Chicago. All that bullshit.
No, he said the
He
story was made up from made up by
made up.
50 to
Yeah,
give
that
us
we
some
didn't
kind
have
of
it.
street cred. I think
And
about that like street cred. I'm like, are you fucking
bro,
kidding me?
He was gonna get their attention. And he rapped
yeah.
and he did all of that and all of that story or whatever. And again, I said it then. I said there's no reason that all of these stories can't be true, but they wanted to completely take what 50 said, what Yayo said, what y'all said off the table. And I thought that was
So
strange. Why deny that so harshly? You know what I'm saying? So then he came
So
back. Go ahead, go ahead. You got something to say?
So yeah, I have to say, so for him to even go at 50, obviously he's trying to get some, press or whatever. Because let me tell you something, 50 keeps it real 100%. Tony Yayo kept it real. He knows
No.
the truth. That's all it is. I want to just tell you, like, 50 Cent version of it was 100% accurate. And I'm telling you for sure, people are going to switch up their fucking stories or whatever the case is. And it doesn't matter, what he says today, what his version of it, he
Mm-hmm.
probably spoke too soon. He never thought it was gonna like get
Mm.
out there like that, and he was wrong. That's it, plain and simple. And the fact that he thinks that a California dude would have had any type of say so in a Chicago organization is a joke. One thing for sure with Chicago, and I always told this all the time. I told this people in prison. It's like with Chicago culture, it's not about money, man. It's about the culture. It's about respect. It's about, you know, it's about, what it is in the street, and that's it,
or
And for
what it
him,
was at least.
yeah,
Yeah,
for
what it
what
was. I
I
was just
felt,
gonna say that,
yeah,
P.
for him to come around and kind of say that, I felt like he was disrespecting the shy.
So let me end this real quick with this one right here. So then here's the backtrack. I invited him. I gave somebody else a platform, and they didn't take the offer. He said they bought the chain in order to return it. They ain't dry up nothing, ain't do nothing but buy it. So now he's before they didn't do nothing, but now they bought it. I said they didn't say they dried up anything. He said the story 50 told was no work went to the streets till the chain showed up, if I recall correctly, and that's not true. Now, I said throughout those videos that, of course, maybe throughout it's telephone game, throughout people telling the story, a little extra grease gets put on it. You know what I'm saying? A mistake here and there, a yayo type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Say it come out and it infers that you guys, strong arm somebody or something. You know what I'm saying? So boom. So he put that out there, and then he said. Then he went back, I guess, and watched the 50 Cent video, and then he said, that's exactly what 50 said. I haven't quoted them because I don't know them. I never spoken to them. I said, are you down to come to the show and talk about it? He said, yep. And then he changed his mind and said, to be honest, I don't know. I got to holler at my
Wow.
folks. Ain't them boys all bad now?
And then, well, I mean, listen, what's bad? My wording bad. I'll tell you this much. My word fucking convicted people. My wording bad. I would love for him to have come on the show, not to attack him, just to kind of get the record straight
But why
of
do we
what
even
he,
have to hear him? Like, to be honest, look, he
yeah.
goes on there. He says, "All I know is that they didn't get the chain back," and he's trying to tell the dude, "But you know what I mean? Like, there's some, like I did it. Like, insinuating that he really had something to do with it when he didn't have shit to do with it. It's obvious. He had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
He made a
Nothing at
whole
all.
he
And
made a
I'm gonna
whole
tell you,
story.
big shout out to I actually talked to Tony Yayo about this after that one interview, and what he was saying is like, look, I think he was insinuating what it was, and we didn't have to. We said it last time, Shy. We didn't have to say that, like it was insinuated that the reason why we got the chain back is because who we were in that point in time in our position, and ain't no one want, it was like that's just petty, like you know what I'm saying?
My
Agreed.
Like
question
it's
to
shy.
Shadow is
Yeah.
if you did have him on, Like, how much could he backtrack over all the stuff he said over plenty of interviews?
He
Like,
was gonna he was
he,
gonna say nah what I said, and I was gonna bring up video.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
and I'm
saying.
gonna tell you, and I'll guarantee you, even El Prophet, he's not ever gonna probably do a video about us again because because he said that. Me trying to be cool with him. The fact that he said that, I feel like now he's about clicking bait. You get me?
And that's where the whole thing started for me. That was the
Mhm.
only reason that I even followed this thread and even thought about this subject, was that he was so matter of fact with saying, "Oh, 50 made that up. It's all marketing and this and that." And it's like, what?
And he knows the facts. I took him. I'm gonna tell you, he went to the shot. He was with some of my guys that are still out there today that told him what it was. And for him to say that, that's kicking bait. I'm gonna tell you, my
Absolutely.
respect to Johnny Mitchell and everyone else who's out there who ain't about that. He just wants to hear the story. You get me?
Right.
So there's two different sides of it.
Right. So to the chat, that's basically what it was. Um, he agreed. Then after that, I told him you don't have to talk to them. You can talk to me. He agreed, and and I went to his channel and I told him bet I'll reach out to you tomorrow. Went to his channel, see what good date and time is. Told him 7 p.m. CST. He said all good. Gave him the link to the Discord, and I never heard from him again. And I just left it at that. So we would have
Yeah,
had a,
it's cool,
and
but
that's
I get
it.
it though. It's hard because I feel like he probably thought he was gonna be attacked, and we talked, and I said, "Well, we're gonna keep it cordial, like keep it straight up, like on some man shit." At the end of the day,
Yeah, I'm
I
not here. Like I said before, I'm not here to disrespect nobody.
That's
Uh,
one thing I appreciate about you, Shai, since day one. Like, if you say, look, my opinion is this or this is what I think, and you always kept it like, I'm just, you're giving me what you felt or what you thought,
right.
and I respect that. When someone comes up and says this is the facts and these people are lying, and
Mm-hmm.
you like our prophet, he just comes out saying shit. That shit makes me lose all respect for him, and it makes me question all the rest of the stories.
Right.
Like how
yeah,
accurate.
yeah, and just to make it clear, like I want to make clear about 50 Cent, right? Me and 50, we always talk about it. Like, look, you could feel whatever you feel about snitches or cooperators, rats, whatever you want to call them. You know, That's 100%. I'm not trying to change your mind, Shy. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not trying to change no one's mind. But the difference is that a real mind's gonna be like, okay, I don't agree with it, but that's you. I'm not gonna like like dwell on what your decision is. As a man, that's your business. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Absolutely.
and I think that that's the difference between real ones and fake ones. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right. Shout out to LV in the chat for the 4.99 super chat. He said, "Why have a conversation with this bum, grown man named Spider Loc?" And
No,
again,
I think it's good. I think it was good that you would have a conversation just because you want to he had a lot to
here's
say.
your
You know what I'm saying?
platform.
So I think it's good.
Yeah, here's your platform. That's all it was. And like I said in the other, like I said after we did the last interview with you guys last week on Saturday, y'all know how I felt about Jerome Finnegan when I was doing Finnegan's Take. But even if Jerome Finnegan ended up on my screen and us having a conversation, I'm not here to disrespect the man and treat him as any less than a man. You know what I'm saying? So again, the platform's open to everybody. If don't criticize me for who I talk to if you're not trying to talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's it.
absolutely. And I want to say that for Albert for Flores, like about Vlad, right? You know, I Vlad knows people that we know, and I gave him the opportunity. I think that he has his own reservation, and he does things a certain way, but. Again, I'm gonna just like there's a difference between a Shy and a Vlad. Shy's been about our story from day one, about getting to the roots of it. Like he has his own opinion. Like no one ever asks Shy. I don't expect Shy to change his opinion about what he thinks about snitch or cooperator. Like it is what it is. I have to respect him. You know what I'm saying? He might like white girls, I might like Hispanic girls, whatever the case is. We have to respect each other's decisions or opinions on different, things, and I respect them, but um, that just kind of goes to show like what are you listening to, what are you viewing, and where you're getting your knowledge from.
Right. No, man. So again, I wasn't gonna ambush him or nothing. I wanted to be clear. Oh, you're telling me in the comments we got new developments. You saying now you know that they had something to do with this instead of what you were saying before. And that's all it was. You know what I'm saying? And he would have said what he would have said, and I would have said what I would have said. At the end of the day, he didn't show up, and I didn't sweat it. So it is what it is.
What do you call that then?
What?
What he's doing, that's worse. You can't even back that shit up.
Again, like what your brother said about our prophet,
Yeah.
it makes me question a lot of things now. I never had that thought about Spider Loke. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying. I was indifferent. I didn't, I didn't have a negative feeling. Never had a negative feeling about dude or nothing. But it's like now I got to question shit. You just gonna say shit. But here's what people don't understand, and what I don't think even he understands. You are telling a story about how you manipulated the truth in a room full of people to get yourself seen. But then you want to tell me to believe everything else that you say.
Mhm.
So it's like I didn't get that part. I didn't understand that part, and it's like now you telling me well, now tell me out loud. Let it be on the record like all the other shit that you said.
Yeah,
He,
yeah,
he,
absolutely.
he, he reminds me of all them dudes in prison, bunch of fakers.
You know?
Yeah. I wanted to make it clear about well, let me answer this real quick too. Monster Media. What do you think about Federal Stanley refusing to cooperate and getting life in prison? I was a witness on that case, and I mean, I was surprised to be honest with you. I really thought that he was actually gonna flip and have a chance of going home. Again, everyone has choices. For whatever reason, he felt that that's what he wanted. I think that he, to me, it's always about legacy and what people say about him, but it's a shame, for his family, for his kids, for himself, that, he has a long road ahead, and I guess to each its own. Everyone had their decision, and the only thing you can do is respect his decision, right?
Yeah.
Shout out Jonathan Pantoja for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, brother. He said, shout out to Sha'il, to the twins in the chat. I'm super duper late, but I'm glad to be here. Positive thoughts and prayers to the Flores family.
Man, thank you, Jonathan, man. Good looking, bro. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
Don't trip,
I
Jonathan. You were here even when you were gone. We got your question out about the phones and the technology. So when you catch the playback, you'll get your answer, bro.
Now, I wish I had this shit in prison. That's for sure. Hey, Shy. One thing I do want to hold you to. There's 50 people in here, and you got a bunch of following. That you ain't gonna change up on those, man. When you make it to the big time, you ain't gonna forget about the little dudes.
Papa, I've been hearing that. I've been hearing that, waiting to be the big timer for over 20 years. You know what I'm
Don't
saying?
imagine me trying to
yeah,
hit Shy up like, hey, Shy, can I come on your show?
yeah,
Let my secretary get back to you.
yeah. I believe it's gonna happen, Shy, though, bro. Never give up, bro.
but
I
but
think
Mm.
everything happens for a reason. Uh, just to let you know, it's surreal, right? You keep going, and you know where life is gonna end up, and look at you. After all these years, you did the music. I love your music too. I listened to it before every one of your lives and stuff like that, man. You never know. You know what lies ahead, and I really hope that I know you started this podcast, and I think that you acting and doing all that hopefully our story kind of opens up those lanes for you to be successful, and you um will continue to be doing good, bro. But I think that you found your calling, and I'm just thankful to be on your show.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, no, but that's the honest answer. The honest answer to that question is I've been hearing it for over 20 years, and I've been the same dude, and I'm a little calmer now. I have a little bit more patience than I had before, but
Mm.
things don't really change much around here except that I don't quit. That's it.
Don't
So
ever quit, man.
Chuck E. Chingon. Let me see. Who's that? All 30 know what type of music we listen to.
Hold that thought one sec. Let's get this super
Yeah.
chat real quick.
Okay.
Jose Fonseca salutes to you for the 4.99 super chat. He's a good storyteller. Tells the truth of the story till the truth of the story is told. I don't know exactly who
Yeah.
you're talking about. Maybe it's I
I
don't
think he's
know.
talking about you, Shy. I think he's talking about your views and how it's coming from your point of view. I think I agree. 100%. A couple of times you see me drop a couple lines on your chat and tell you, well, look at this other perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciate that you always understood that other perspective. You put yourself in those other shoes. Again, I'm not trying to get you, I don't think my brother either is trying to convince you to like see things in our way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you're smart enough, intelligent enough, your point of view of coming from the streets, coming from the music and everything you lived through kind of gets you to be in a perfect place where you're like, okay, I get it, you know?
Right. Yeah. Well, I appreciate Salute Jose Fonseca for that. Who did I cut off? I cut somebody off. You were talking to Chucky Chingo.
Chucky,
Wait,
you know,
wait.
let me.
Answer this with the Blackberries. What's the PGP mean? I know they had them. What were it? 8071s or something. We used to use that ping on with all the keyboard. I don't know what. I don't know what the PGP Blackberries are.
Jonathan, just to make it clear, was in 20, bro. I think we were carrying more like 50 phones, real talk. Like, that even, that's that's for real. We carried on 50 phones each. Um, we had the iPhone in the beginning, but
Mm.
we didn't have to wait that long, I think, to come out of
What's
prison to
what's that
understand what
P?
they were like.
I don't even know what the PGP Blackberry is. What is that? Do you know?
Mm.
I don't
I have
know.
no
Do
clue.
you know, Shay?
I have no clue.
I know the Blackberry, like I said, with the whole
You're
keyboard. I
talking
mean,
about
that's
like pin to pin or something? Like, is that what you're talking about?
They were an encryption. They were an
Yeah, yeah, we
encryption
we
setup.
had those back when we were there, the pin to pin encrypted version.
Mm.
We had those back then. Well, that was a joke to me though, because that shit doesn't work. They fucking take the phone, they take everything. Um, but yeah, we used to use those. As a matter of fact, I think the Canadians brought them to Zampi. They had that shit first.
The Canadians.
Yeah,
Come to find out, the Canadians are some masterminds, boy.
man, the Canadians are some masterminds for real. I'll tell you that much. Um, Hey, for what kind of type of music we listen to? So you
Mm.
mentioned this for sure. Right now, I'm always been a hip hop dude. We're in the music biz, right, Shy? You get it, right? So I'm always about the music, hip hop culture for sure. But right now, man, I think for the last 2 years, 3 years, I've been really into Mexican regional music. Fuerza Regida has to be one of my favorite groups. I was actually telling this to my brother that I really hope, and I told 50 about this, that I would love for JOP from Fuerza Regida to actually play us in a scripted TV series. I like his swag. I like that he's like, you know, American slash Spanish. He's hip. He's about that life. I love his music for sure. Uh, whatever's Junior H. I like Hobby right now. I like his some of his music right now. One of my favorite music is what was it? Desde Morro. That's one of my favorite songs right now. Always been what is it? Justin Morales.
You up on that Mexican OT? Somebody asked that the other day.
Yeah, I love the Mexican regional music, but I'm into everything. Of course, I'm hip hop. I'm a 21 Savage right now for sure. I'm always gonna be a Drake fan, and I guess I got history with that. So every time I listen to him, it's a bad feeling of damn, uh, what it could have been, but for sure, hip hop and for sure Mexican regional music. I really hope that we get the chance to actually put that on every one of our TV shows and roll with that.
P.
Yeah, same here, man. I'm actually sad about them killing that dude, Chuy Montana. I was a
That's
fan
I
of
was gonna
him.
ask y'all about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's that sad song, man. I just heard it, the one that he made to his mom, and then it kind of speaks of him dying, which is crazy because and that song he has on YouTube, he even asked, like, is it even worth it? Like, and
that's a shame. That just goes to show you guys it's real simple when people don't understand the culture. Because we're on the American side, on the Mexico side, and people could be so petty,
Mm.
And you think about somebody like True Montana, just wants to be an artist, wants to be gone, gets caught up in the politics, and I really hope that even people like Fuerza Regida, the whole Rancho Mille, I mean, man, they really consider these artists and 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 what they're actually, putting them in dangerous stuff.
Right,
I think that it's real. It's life. It's what it is in Mexico.
right. Killing
Yeah,
your
but
representation.
yep. And I listen to all that. I still like, man, I could still listen to some freestyle, to some classic house music.
Chicago shit.
Chicago shit. Of course, it's always there with you. And just a little bit of everything. I think we both listen to a little bit of everything. I still like Bad Bunny and all the reggaeton stuff. And
Don't get it fucked up. I'm still fucking I still listen to freestyle. I'm still Chicago.
But
I still listen to house music, freestyle music. I'm hip hop. I'm gonna send you this song, right, Shy, the
mm,
original song that Young Buck got on, that 50 Cent made Young Buck to get on.
mm,
I'm gonna send you the original version of that so you can make sure you can play that shit. But
but
I'm about house music. I love the Mexican culture music. I'm love that they're getting a chance. I think that entirely as a movement is my entire chance right now. With our project, with what Mexico regional music has done to the music business, right? They never even considered Mexican regional music, and here we are.
mm.
Taking the number one, two, three, four spot. That's amazing. I think there's more to come,
How
and
do
I
you
really hope
feel?
that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
How do you feel, P? You feel like Buddy could play you?
no, I mean, like
JOP?
I said, yeah, he has the swag for it. He knows both sides. I mean, but I wish it was someone a little better looking. That's just my opinion. But
Nah,
look, I
nah,
want to
nah,
say
nah.
something.
I
Look,
think he's good looking. I
be,
think he's a good looking dude.
besides that, I want to say, look, man, Jeezy's always gonna be on my playlist. That's for sure. I still
Facts.
like that era. I still like some of his songs that he's featured on, like that Realist or what is that Street Cred. That shit hit hard for me. Um, I even like Ivan Cornejo. I don't know if y'all familiar with him. Different things. I just listen a little bit of everything.
Dope.
And I'm not into the music stuff. I miss old Ricky Ross. I used to listen to him. Of course, my favorite artist is 50 Cent.
Mm.
I gotta say that, right?
Nah, for sure.
Nah,
Um,
I'm
yeah, but
messing
I
too.
think
Nah,
I
A
think
little tongue in
I
cheek
have
right
I
there.
have big ideas of, like, for the soundtrack, for the upcoming stuff. Hopefully for the documentary we could start out there. And I told 50 for sure that, like, I want to have a big input on what the music was gonna be like. And he's all for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, I think the big question is gonna be, like, I seen that he started posting different things, like who was going to be the biggest show, or what brothers were going to be the biggest, right? I
Mm.
think it goes for, what people actually want, you know what I'm saying, in those stories, right? If it's about, you know, that fake life or whatever the case is, about the persona, it's going to be like BMF for sure has that for the culture. But it's about making it and doing it, about money and about surviving. Then I
Surviving.
think that
Absolutely.
we're
Family.
actually
Yeah.
on top of that.
hey Jay, you gotta read that. It's time for the percolator. It makes me think about Val dancing.
Yeah, with her house music. Yeah, for sure. Like, we house, right? We house. As a matter of fact, I spoke to Shy about this, right? I'm always into house and music, and some of the projects we are going down. I'm working on a couple different of bringing that music back, just because I'm all about, Shy Town,
That's what's
and
up.
what it was to grow up listening to that music.
Right. All right, y'all. 56 people in here. Hit that like button. 36 likes. Hit that. Get that number up. Shout out JP the Ghost with the super chat. $10 super chat. Appreciated. He said, Twins, we appreciate y'all. We've been rocking with Shy since he started y'all stories. And for us, this means a lot because he talk his talk.
Mm.
Respect to y'all.
Yeah, respect to Shy, and respect
Yeah.
to everyone who actually listened to the beginning. I'm gonna tell you, I think it's a little different. We're not actually. I do feel like it's more of a us chilling out and having a good conversation about what it is, and I think that's a little bit different from every other channel where it's a little bit more interview based, a little bit more like question after question. I guess it gives opportunity for the listeners, or the viewers, to actually comment, and obviously we're looking at it and be able to interact with them.
We interactive on this side.
Hey, and what's funny is that when they bring up Takashi, man, I listened to some of his music recently because I didn't listen to him while I was in prison. Man, he got some hot music, yo. I don't care what they say about him. Like you really gotta wonder if someone's hot before you say, man, that song hit hard or something. You know,
Right.
I don't know about that, but he got
Hey,
some hot music.
LB, I want to mention this. It said, are they really eating a Chick-fil-A and sticks in prison when you have paper respect? Listen, I'm gonna tell you something, bro. For sure. You eat good. Um, if Sam's still on there, he'll tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's basically anything you want, but you just got to make sure that how you carry yourself, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you have money or whatever people might say it is. It's also about how you carry yourself, the type of person you are, because not all money is good money.
Mm.
But yes, ate good. Thanks to the prison staff out there. Big shout out to them.
They're gonna end up in the chat too. Everybody seems to end up in the chat eventually.
Yeah.
But shit, I ain't gonna lie, shit, I try to, my last couple of years, man, I did everything I could just to follow the rules and there, try to do the right thing, and
Mm.
man, it wouldn't get through to the staff, man. They were on my ass for anything and everything,
Mm.
and I had a lot to lose. I didn't want to lose my visits. My kids are dependent. They depend on seeing me, and
Mhm.
you put up with a lot of bullshit in there, a lot
No,
of haters.
yeah, I always tell my brother, man, I used to be like, what the fuck is you doing? But big shout out to, I'm gonna tell you, Solo. We have a boy named Oscar, Speedy, all those dudes that I did long time with. I seen that this dude Dean made a video with real recently on
Yeah,
that
somebody asked that in the chat earlier. They asked if Gene was telling the truth that he know y'all
well,
from.
listen, I'm gonna tell you that I called him split. Yeah, for sure. That motherfucker. We had to keep his ass in check because he was a split. He was out of control at times. He, you know, some of the stories he got a little confused, but I see what he's doing on YouTube and stuff like that. But for all those people that came across and they're keeping it real, you know what I'm saying? You know, when you're in there, it's all about getting through it. And I met some really good people. Some good people that never be able to come home, and some people will be coming home soon. But um, especially to my boy Solo, right? He's gonna be able to listen to you one day. I'm hopeful. I'm like hopeful that he will be. He's been in prison since he was 15. He's going on 49 now,
Damn.
and what I'm saying it's like those type of people that
Yeah,
makes you understand life and what it is. But as far as I just want to
Rayful, Rayful
pray
as
for him.
well.
And
People like that, and Tim,
yeah,
Tim out there too. And you know
yeah,
what? Black Twin, man, wherever they're at, Black
yeah,
Twins out
man.
there. Bernie involvement,
They
man. Just
burning environment.
send.
Man, I'm gonna tell you. I think you question this. You always wonder, man, is there really dudes that caught up on this shit and they're still cool? Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of dudes out there that out of respect to them. At the end of the day, man, this was more about just businesses. Some of them people are like family to us. They call my mom. We call them brothers. Like there's some real hood dudes. Had a big impact, especially in the hip hop culture in Chicago. That are still out there that we consider to be fam for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, you spend that much time with people, that shit becomes family.
And then with the raw stuff too, Shy, you locked up with someone, and especially you already made a deal, and you get to just be yourself. You ain't hiding behind no fake shit,
Mm-hmm.
no gang stuff. You
Mm-hmm.
kind of, you build a different relationship with people.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, you wanted to have a functional fucking place to live. A couple common senses walked in
Mhm.
into the chaos and shit.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Let's see. Let's check in with the chat. We're gonna say goodbye to the boys soon. We're not gonna abuse their time. They've been very generous with it. Who made anybody make some money on the Super Bowl? Who made some money on the Super Bowl? You boys wagered on the Super Bowl?
I'll tell you who made some money in the NFL.
what channel are they on? They on Fox? What are they on? The Super Bowl. And then who was the? It was Usher.
CBS.
Usher was the halftime show. How was the halftime show?
Bro, It sucked if you ask me. Usher came out with them
Nah,
funny ass costumes. He just could fucking come out in a fucking regular clothes, bro. It's
bro, don't
weird.
hate. It's
I ain't
just
hating. I was a fan of his for a while. It just
I saw
he
the
just
blue
comes out
costume.
fucking weird ass costumes. Why can't he just come out in some fucking jeans and some
He had
Jordans
on
or
some
something?
chrome Jordan 4s though.
hey, Monster Beater. Yeah, I knew Gene. Just to make it clear, like Gene. Um, I met him, and yeah, he was around us for sure.
Gene, yeah, Gene Burrow.
Yeah, Gene Barillo. I knew actually Johnny A. Like I came across a bunch of people too as well. So they're just different worlds, right? To make it clear.
See, here's the thing, like, the audience sometimes, like, for instance, we feel like we've been beating a dead horse with this whole Spider Loke and with this chain situation, right? But there's always new developments, right? So, for instance, I asked Pete the last time y'all were here. I asked Pete about Sammy, and we spoke about Sammy or whatever. But people are like, okay, but what was the story? Now tell your side of the story. Like, you told us how you feel about it, but tell you how to. Now I'm not saying you got to do that right now. I'm just saying that be kind of like along the line of questioning that happened. Like, we'll get one. They'll ask you about Gene Barella right now, and you'll be like, hey, he's a cool dude and this. But eventually they're gonna be like, what's up? We'll get a story at you. You know what I mean? So it's basically how it
Yeah,
works.
I'm willing to share the story with y'all whenever, one day or whenever,
Yeah,
with
we'll
Sammy.
give the Sammy story a little time to breathe. Let's let Sammy pick up on these videos that we done put out about
Mhm.
him already, and then
Well,
we'll see.
Sammy ain't dumb, man. Sammy's not gonna do nothing unless he gets $1. So he'll speak
Oh,
about it unless he
absolutely.
could get paid. So.
Oh, I have no expectations of him being as generous with his time or effort as you guys. Trust
Wait,
me, I know that.
you also gotta answer Chucky Chingon shit, man. That was Jay's boy. Scott Storch was Jay's boy.
Oh, that's my boy. I actually was able to. I still communicate with him on and off here as of recently, but that was my boy.
You said what? You spoke with him recently?
Yeah, yeah. I just yeah, for sure. That shit
Um,
don't that shit don't go away. I still
right.
have a lot of good friends in the industry. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's come a long way. That guy was, he was in a bad place for a long time,
Yeah,
and
yeah, for sure. Them drugs, man. But big shouts out to Scott, Swiss Beats, all those people that you know.
yeah, he doing his
Um,
thing now.
yeah, I had a great relationship with them,
Let's see.
and
Chante
just to make
Pato.
sure, hey, 30 North. Do we have guns in the house? No, we didn't have the guns. The guns still with the security guard, but we had plenty of those.
Plenty of those. Plenty of those. All right, y'all.
Let me see.
Guys,
Hey,
go
Shy,
ahead.
I had mentioned. Was there something we were leaving on the table?
I don't know, bro. My brain's been in a million places. You remind me. What do we have on the
Yeah,
table?
Solo Dolo. Sam knows that. Um, a couple of people that we're around with, but um, there's a bunch of different stories that you guys are probably gonna hear about coming out and coming up to light. But um, I just want
So,
to make hopefully we'll be able to continue to address some of these things. I know we talked about the BMF thing, right, guys? Big
yeah,
shouts
you
out
want the
to
results to
them.
the poll? The results to the poll. I'm gonna end the poll now, y'all. Or yeah, I'm gonna end the poll now. It's 96% to 4% with there was 53 votes. Good turnout on the votes. Salutes to
Yeah,
y'all.
I want to know what my brother's really what's his real thoughts
On the
on that.
BMF?
Yeah, but I think that's fair. I guess for those of you guys who actually know the story, but yeah.
Real thoughts? I thought P gave us his real thoughts already. P,
Nah, I'm
he
being
just did your brother just line you up? P, is that what happened?
lately. I gotta check myself, but I just gotta sometimes I gotta ask, what's the point of even going hard or saying anything when it's really not
Yeah,
even them? It's just the commenters or other
Right,
people. It goes like they had a big case and it goes from someone moving 500 birds here and there to fucking they moved 50 tons. You know what I mean? This
right,
exaggerated as numbers.
right.
And
And
like
again, it's not like Big Meech is screaming out of his window. We were bigger than the twins. It's
that
commenters.
I
It's
think
people in
it's
the
something
street.
he tries to insinuate that at times where I'm mentioning it, but um
Really? Oh,
I
okay.
think keeping it real. He I think my sure I don't know him like that, but I think he will keep it real 100, and
Mm.
it
Because
doesn't take away from him.
we're definitely getting at the same time. Remember, I went on the run February of 2004. I just left Mexico with a massive indictment over my head.
Mm.
And so we were doing it around the same time,
Right.
and there's no slowdown of my business, that's for sure. And remember, we're getting to Chicago. We're getting for 15 a key. That was the cheapest they ever got.
Mm.
It wasn't gonna get no cheaper than that.
Right.
Unless he's gonna tell me that they were making deals for tons or something, then maybe I'll take my place.
Nah, I always
Yeah.
say this: the day that someone tells me that they were transporting their drugs in a submarine, then I have to listen. But until that day is, it's like you know, it's a little
Yeah.
bit different.
Right. Well, there's your answer, y'all. But here's my thing is I think that the television show, when it gets to that point, I think it's gonna be amazing. I think it's gonna be a big thing for y'all, a big thing for Latinos. I think it's gonna be you know it's gonna be must see TV. Like people are gonna show
Yeah,
up that night, like just the same way people. Because to me, if you ask me, out of all of the Power universe, the Raising Canaan is the best one that they got right now. You know what I'm
yeah, for
saying?
sure. I want to say something. Like, we talk about all the time is like for sure. I think that for 50 Cent, he has a big percentage of what it is, what the culture is, right?
Hmm.
African Americans viewership for sure. And I always say like, look, man, we could bring 20% of Latin or Hispanic viewership, to
Hmm.
watch the show, which I feel like, it, our show is we're at the end of the day, we're Hispanic, we're Mexican, right?
Hmm.
Try, and I think that uh,
If we
people
bring the
who,
Latin viewers, I
yeah,
mean, and support whether they hate you or not, like the way the
yeah,
African Americans support BMF,
Hmm.
it's like,
yeah,
man, we can't lose. You know what I mean?
we have a number one worldwide show, and I think that it's not just about us don't like us, but it's about the culture, right? It's a bigger something bigger to bring the I-town back into, and put a kind of like I really feel like it's about Little Village, it's about Chi-town, it's about its entirety, about the culture, about Hispanics, about of what the future is for our people, right? It's about giving people like you, inspiring actors, opportunity and platform to be able to be on TV where you have the rest of Hollywood not taking from the story. You get me?
Right.
There's nothing different. Why can't it be us now? We heard all this fucking Italian fucking shows, and 50 Cent says it all the time. Like, look, Martin Scorsese will be applauded to be bringing these gangster Italian movies or shows to TV. You know what I mean? But they're
Hmm.
not the only ones. I think it's our time. I think that we have uh, the ability to have the number one show, and I think it's going to show by how how we support it. And the sad part about this is that as you know, Shai, our culture is like all about hate, and
Mm.
it's going to be a little bit difficult, but I believe in it.
Hmm.
I believe that I need those people who hate to come watch the show
Hmm.
because that they're going to be the ones that make a number one show, right?
Right.
Because naturally, I think it's embedded in us, that we ourselves bring our own people down.
Mm. Yeah, and I think 50 got a way of riling people up too. So I think that'll help. He's gonna rally the troops. I think the people are gonna show up. I think again we've said it 1,000 times. The story tells itself. It's stranger than fiction. I think it will be must see TV. People will be scheduled to sit their ass down and watch it, and I will be right here making sure I got the after
So
show and reacting to y'all lunatics in the chat.
So I will tell you this much, man. I really hope that we bring as many as Hispanic or Latin American culture to be able to come on the show. Everyone from people in the reggaeton genre to the
Mm.
Mexican regional music genre. I don't want it to be a fake fucking narcos. I want it to be authentic. I want it to be real. But I'm gonna tell you what it is. If we ever get the chance, 50 knows what it is, right? There's no competition, man. I really think that for everything that 50 is doing, man, amazing businessman, amazing executive producer, like he's doing some great things. But I'm gonna put it on my shoulders, on my brother's shoulders, that I guarantee him that he's gonna have a number one hit show.
Mm.
And I think it's always about the story, like you said, right?
Hmm.
It's not about who produces it, who acts in it. It's about making sure that we get the real story out there. And if we get the real story out there about our life and about what it is, then we're gonna have an amazing story to tell because you guys ain't really ain't heard much. You
Right.
guys heard 10-15% of what it was.
That shit is weird to even think about, bro. For
Man,
real.
we never
Yeah.
get into the like. Imagine what it took to get there. Like you earlier, I heard you say. I don't know. I was watching. Man, I got to Mexico in March of 2004. 2 weeks after I got there, after losing the load, we're getting another load. We're back at it. We're 100% back at it. And and to leave, we left Mexico at the end of 2008, which was almost a 5 year mark. That's a long time to be doing it at that level, man.
Mm,
I mean, you just don't understand. Like, we're not talking about, something. We're talking about day in and day out, day in and day out. You know, and
right.
it's a stressful life to live. Not many people get, one little failure, one mistake, and it's over.
Just touch somebody's sensitivity. It's a wrap.
Yeah, and it's a
Mm.
wrap, and you gotta know how to, gotta play your cards right, and like they say, you gotta know when to fold them.
Right. Shout out Chucky
Yeah, it's
Chingong. He said he'll play Tommy. Uh, that brings up a good question that somebody named Tommy D brought up in the chat last week. I don't know if it was Tommy. I don't know where Tommy's at. I don't know, but he said, "How did it feel?" Something to the effects. This is me paraphrasing because a lot. He deleted his message when I didn't acknowledge it because things were passing so fast. I believe it popped up on the screen, but he said, "How did it feel to to flip on Tommy, and if y'all still had some type of relationship, or if you know anything about him or whatever?" If that's a question that you're willing to answer.
we're talking about Tommy, my boy Tommy.
Yeah.
Oh, my top boy Tommy from the book. I want to tell you, man. I love the way the book was actually presented, like on the Audible
Hmm.
for Cartel wise, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, man. Tommy was my best friend. He was my right hand man. He went from being a supplier to being my worker,
Hmm.
always on my side. Uh, we saved his life plenty of times. The biggest thing that hurt me was that he chose the life instead of us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And he suffered the consequences. He's been in prison. He got a total of what, 19 years, Pete? He got 19 years,
22.
22 years. That shit hurt, but he had the choice. Um, he was like, man, we had shared intimate moments. When I tell you he was my best friend, uh, basically we practically spent every day together from the age of, how old was I, Pete? 19? No, 20?
No, I mean, yeah, probably around 18,
Imagine that
17. Yeah.
he was our supplier, and later on like,
To me, he was family, man. When I think
he
about it,
was
I hear
family.
him. I feel like my heart hurts from my
Yeah,
my eyes tear like because
he,
not
he was
just that,
family.
not just because of him going through everything he's going through, but just to think that relationship ended that way.
Mm.
And not only
Hmm.
him, but you guys know, like one of my closest people was Michael King, Big Mike, rest in peace, and Kylie Murray. Man, those were people like that. Like, man, we were like brothers, bro. Like we were a family. And it
I'm
just
gonna I'm gonna tell you, especially for us, like, man, I still got dudes to this day, man. For us, I was closer to some of my these guys than the people I grew up with. Also, these dudes, either black or Mexican, to us, it never mattered. And one of my guys, he called my mom his mom. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, and, like, the relationship, the brotherhood was different. Started from from nothing, and you always ask, like, man, could it be that they still cool with each other? Like, yeah, shy. That's what it is, because real is real, and nothing changes. And Tommy was one of the dudes that I'm sure he had a different view of it. You know what I'm saying? Because he chose that life instead of us, and decided not to cooperate. And his family was deeply embedded in what was the cartel, and probably still is. And it hurt me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
He gave us the opportunity to kind of start in the business, and he respected us when we surpassed him. and took a position in our organization and benefited from it. But he went from him supplying us to him saying yes, boss, right?
Right.
And he was my right hand man, and
Takes
I
a lot
think
of
about him all the
character.
time.
Takes a lot of character to do that without bitterness.
Oh yeah, no, he was all for us, shy man. He was always
Yeah,
like, I want to see you win, man. Like, and then he would tell us, man, the position you guys had, man, you don't understand.
Mm.
And he was always like, in our corner, man, like, cheering us on, and I
yeah,
pray that
man.
he's not a regular kind of person. He's an amazing person. I'll tell you that.
Right.
And I see Chango up on the chat, man. What's up?
Shout out Big Changs on the check in.
Hey, so just to let you know, let's shout out LV, man. He has a question out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
He said,
Four
"Damn,
ninety
you guys
nine.
start."
Salutes to LV for the 4.99 super chat. He said,
Yeah,
"Damn,
man, let's support, man. Anything we could get a shy, man. He needs to make sure we gotta get those numbers up. He said, if you guys start from when you were kids, making it to Mexico won't be until season 2 or 3, so we'll be waiting. I'm gonna just give you some inside information. I'm gonna get in trouble for this though. 50 believes that it should be less than 8 seasons, and if everything works out, then season 3 will be 2 parts that will go into season 3 and 4. Because there's just too much shit, to be honest. Like,
but here's
uh,
the thing. Here's where it's a trip. So I like Billy the Kid movies, right? Young Guns 2, right? And then they got a TV show now. They got this movie that my teacher Max Arceniega was in called Old Henry, that was about Billy the Kid as an old man. You know what I'm saying? If the show is 8 seasons and it starts somewhere and ends somewhere, the difference between your story and everyone else's is that you got a fucking a cartel Star Wars going on, because you guys can go back and do a prequel after that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, don't forget, we're unique because, besides, there's two sides of it, right? There's us, there's the government, there's law enforcement, and then don't forget, there's always, spin off into Valerie's story, right?
Yeah,
And the story keeps going, right, to this day. So, there's
yeah,
different avenues to what it could become, and I think, 54 sees it. He has an idea, a vision, and I'm hoping that it gets done, right.
right.
Um, but for sure, I honestly think that it's gonna be probably 1 or 2 seasons, 3 seasons of our show, and it'll be a spin-off right in between those seasons, right?
Mm,
What that spin-off is gonna be still up to what the audience thinks and what characters build off of that. But we have options.
mm. Let's hope this kip don't blow up, because Jay over here dropping exclusivos and shit.
Yeah,
Next thing you know,
we're
we'll
dropping
be on
exclusive.
50's
Uh,
Instagram, and he'll be
uh,
like, "I want my money by Monday, man."
yeah, he wants his money by Monday. I'm a big shout out to him. I'm gonna tell you something. As a mogul, as a executive producer, man, he has a vision, far beyond what
Oh, I
what we're
respect it.
seeing, what we're talking about today. He's already like past that. He's 4 or 5 seasons.
Hmm.
Yeah, because if you think about it, man, look at the stories, man. Both girls come from, being daughters of Chicago police officers. We got a bunch of dirtbag ex-boyfriends, you know, niggas trying to rob us and steal and kidnappers. I mean, you name it, we had it. We have it.
Yeah, it's all in there.
Hey, big guy, so to Sergio Solis, he's an identical twin. He probably could relate, but I think we're like 15, 18, 20 minutes apart. I'm the oldest one. So big shouts out to you, to your twin brother. Hope you guys are still tight. Um, Hopefully you guys do the twin talk like me and my brother, but shouts out to you and your twin.
Y'all 20 minutes of 18, 20 minutes apart, huh?
I'm my little brother's older brother.
Damn, that's wild. That's,
When I was a kid, I used to always say that's because I kicked his ass out.
mm.
I said, go check it out for me.
Get out. This is for me, bro.
Hey, Big Chang, me and him used to be chess buddies, man. He a good dude.
Salutes, big chains,
Big
big
Chang,
chains.
Big
Yeah.
Chang, you know him?
Yeah, he knows Vicente. He knows everyone.
Oh yeah, I probably will both of you in chess, just to keep it real.
Big Chang was a major player out west, that's for sure.
Shout out JP the Ghost. He said usual suspects in the chat. Salutes to the usual suspects. I'm gonna be putting out some usual suspects merch pretty soon. I got some designs
Honestly,
lined up.
Shaq, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I think that the people are hating on you. To be honest with you, something's happening, G.
Who YouTube hating on me?
Yeah, bro, something.
Yeah, all of this is organic, man. Any growth we got is organic. YouTube says they help, but I
Oh
don't see
yeah,
it happening. I see other channels run by AI and loser channels and nudity channels and all of this shit. They but I just keep mashing.
my brother's willing to get naked for you on his channel. If
No, we
you're
get
open
shut
to
down, bro. We get shut down. He gonna have to take his ass to OnlyFans for that. We good.
it.
We good.
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you something. Look, Shy, I'm gonna talk about it. I did two interviews. One for the Andy Big Show. What's the biggest idea for Representative of Arizona? They gave me the opportunity to be in Congress. It felt amazing. Big shouts out to Representative Crenshaw from Texas. Guys, he's pro anti Mexican cartel, but when me speaking to him, man, he comes from the heart. He really wants to do change for the youth. I really think he's genuine. He comes off really strong, really like unapologetic, unsympathetic, but
You
he
ain't get
means
you
it for a
ain't you
good
ain't
cause.
you ain't
I
catch a
was able to,
no whiff of racism in there. Nothing?
nah, man, I not at all, man. I'm gonna tell you, he's a veteran. He lost his brothers at war, lost his eye.
Mm.
Um, one of the real ones. I think that I get it. He's not for like you know, he's about getting shit done, and I think that it could come off the wrong way.
Mm.
But some of the stuff we talked about, I really think he's about, you know, saving some of the young youth, from entering the drug trade, into using drugs, and
Mm.
his like direct. I'm not taking no type of bullshit. You know, I'm about getting shit done. It could kind of be taken in a different way. But I seen the other side of him. And you have to applaud someone who's up for a good cause, no matter what he's actually trying to how it comes off. If that makes any sense.
Mm.
But I'm grateful that he gave me the opportunity to work, and come in and have a different aspect when it comes to um
Yeah, we
mm,
already covered the Biggs interview. I'll be editing that and putting that out this week. But I want to cover the Crenshaw one too, and see what we
And
doing.
I know I get is that people could be like, well, this ain't about that. No, it is about that. It's
It
about the
is.
culture. It's about, coming full circle. You look at us like I went from, being at the top of the drug trade, you know, to be able to walk into the office of Congress and meet with so many legislators and lawmakers, and them wanting to hear what I had to say. I think that's a story in itself.
Mm. Again, another movie, another episode, another
Oh, for
spin-off.
real, man. Yeah.
The politics of it all. How the country looks at it. Because I mean, again, we don't get the whole truth. We get what we can get where we can get it because they're never gonna cop to the shit. They're part in it, but you know, you do what you can do and you keep it moving forward.
Yeah. For those who what's that? Yayo, whatever, double O. Oh man, you're keeping up with the story. Chapo Isidro was one of my close associates, close friend. Underneath me at the most of the time, he actually opened the doors for me. He actually one of the person that actually kidnapped P. So, we have a long history there.
Hmm.
It's not surprising he's still out there. Um, right, P?
Yes, sir.
Rambo still out
Oh
there?
man, Capo Isidro is saying.
But is
Yeah,
Rambo
Chapo
still out
Isidro.
there?
I, I heard that Rambo's still out there.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I I,
Yeah.
I don't know about that. We just, Rambo. I don't know. We actually said in the story, but Rambo's actually correctional officers in Puente Grande. He was part of the group of COs that helped Chapo escape from prison the first time.
So he was moonlighting. as a well, moonlighting as a cartel member or moonlighting as a CO and shit.
No, he was CO turned cartel member.
Wow, bananas,
Yeah.
Yeah,
bananas.
and he was real deal. He was a in charge of a big cell. He was good at what he did. He was a hitman.
All right,
Big
y'all. You
shouts
think we
out to
summed it up for
Sam
tonight?
Germ. Yeah, big shouts out to Sam Germ, all those people in prison, man.
Yeah, salutes to Noel de Jesus. I don't know what you did to get 68 years, brother, but that's a long time.
Yeah,
Who's
man.
who's that you talking about?
This dude popped up in the chat and said he was doing 68 and he was 19 in.
Man, like when you hear that, I want to feel like, man, I want to give him my number. Say, bro, call me. I'm here for you. Shit. When you hear
Yeah,
stuff like
man.
that,
Salutes
and
to
you,
Hey,
him.
bro, the government will always take you snitching, bro. It's always a time you could change your mind if you have to want to snitch on.
Oh shit!
no,
It's
but
never too
look, a
late.
person like that, like you said, obviously, someone like that don't cooperate. Got doing 60 something years. Like Barbie's doing 50 after he cooperated. But I know that he'll tell
Damn.
you the truth. You wake up 5 years down the road every day. You think about your family, how much time went by, and everyone forgot about you.
Mm.
6 years, and that shit feels so real. It hits you in your like a ton of bricks to be.
Sergeant Stoddard, Chingon. Yeah, I'm
I
part of
mean,
this.
I can't even explain to you. Like you have to live through it to understand what it feels like to be buried alive.
Right.
Literally, and have people, telling you what to do all day and being assholes, and it sucks for anyone to live that way.
Right.
Let
Yeah,
alone
I
to.
think I'm gonna tell you. I think what helped my brother and I. We always were open. We always had like we were always boss, but we always had a boss, and we always knew how to take orders.
Mm.
And we never let that power get to us. But it's hard for, especially for those people who are in prison that don't like to take no shit or think that they owe something to the street. That street don't care.
Streets don't
There's no
care.
such things as
It's
the
another thing
streets
people
caring for
like to
you.
say in the comments. They like, oh, the streets is talking. The streets are fucking lie too. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
the fucking streets are the worst thing, bro. Like I'm
Streets are
gonna tell
lie.
you, it's like it's the rule of the game, bro. At the end of the day, we're the people. We're me and my brother. Example, the friends are the ones that are gonna get you. And I'm gonna use me as an example. That gonna be your friends are gonna be your worst enemies, and that goes down through every one of our stories.
Mm.
And in the streets after that, there's no winning. If
Man,
you
look,
want,
you in the street like that, man. Them dudes, you get killed by some rival gangbanger. Nobody helps you pay for the funeral, man. They give you $1,000.
Mm.
bro, I'm gonna tell you, I think we got more. We would get requests from the gang asking us to donate for funerals, and we were doing. Like, bro, like they don't take care of you. You know what I'm saying? People die every day for that shit. It's like it's a joke, bro. Like,
Right.
Your boys are trying to get on your girl, and it's
LV
sad,
LV
man.
LV says 60 years. Shit, I'm giving up Wi-Fi passwords, addresses, recipe books, everything.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're keeping it real, bro. Like, shit, for all those people. Like, I remember I used to have dudes that be like, man, I spent 28 years in a fucking shoe, youngster. You ain't about that. You should be like, bro, I ain't trying. Like, you think I give a fuck about what some dumbass motherfucker says? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Right.
that shit don't impress me.
It's definitely a trap. That Felix Reyes says it's a trap. That's why it's called a trap.
Yeah, we always said that shit didn't work on me in third grade. This shit gonna work on me now.
Right.
But
Like,
wait, I don't want to sit here and say that I went in with that mentality because obviously I didn't start off that way.
Mm.
It's a learn something you learn along the way, and you see people, you know, you see the way people act with others, and when
Right.
we would lose people, we help them pay. We're paying bills and sending money to prison, sending lawyers,
Mm-hmm.
and then sometimes people would send little messages like, "Oh, we need more money." And I used to be like, "Man, ain't no retirement fund for drug dealers, man. Ain't no
Right.
social
Right.
security. Like you out there flossing, fucking buying cars and houses, and then shit go wrong, and you want to put that out on us. It kind of sucks because who do we have?
Right.
yeah, I always said that. It's always like people always look to us for answers. Shit, who do we look for answers? And I'm gonna tell you, some of those dudes that say that they're men and they're this and that, man. It's easier said, bro, but Most of the time, all the dudes were around. Like we were the person to look for answers or for help, and who do we have? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm
Do
gonna
you
tell you
think?
this much: the boss ain't gonna listen to us saying, "Hey, I need your help," and we get the fuck out of here.
Do you
Right.
think? Do
Shit.
you think Chapo and Mayo were like, oh, let me see what happened to him? Hey, let me help them out, man. They don't give a fuck. You know what they're gonna say? See who's around. See what shit we could take from them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, shit, you didn't owe them money, and to them, you still owe
Yeah.
them money. So it is what it
Mm.
is. Shout out JP the Ghost for the $5 super chat. Super chat. He says shout out to Chucky, 030, John. I believe it means Jonathan, Jose, many more. We riding for Shy. Salutes, man. I'm riding for y'all, man. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah. A big worm. Javier Torres was in prison by the time we met. We met all his family, Manuel Torres and all that. They were forbidden to have any type of association with the cartel because Mayo knew he was Italian. So just
And
Did
of
you?
course, man, for y'all, your prayers for the wise, man, that means a lot to us.
yeah.
Like,
And I'm gonna tell you something. That's the hardest thing, man. Like my baby, like Val's tough, but she's still, she's tough in some ways, but it's hard, man. She's a mom, she's a wife, and she's going through it. And I think that it always comes back to some of the sins we made in our family, and our wives are suffering from it.
Mm,
Um, it doesn't matter how much time they get. It just, it's hard each and every day. It affects our family, affects our children, and affects them. It's sad. You get me? You
man,
hear her, and it's like it almost sounds like she's like okay with it, but man, it's a hard thing for her.
it don't just affect them. It affects me, myself, like my own being. It feels, I don't feel myself. I feel a little lost.
mm,
Not to have my wife here, my partner. And, I got, Viv's more like a valley girl, man. And it's hard when I hear her saying, oh, they got to lock us down or they're doing something like,
mm,
it hurt, breaks my heart, man, because that's not who she is.
right.
And I know everything she feels when she calls. Every time she calls me, every time she hangs up that phone, and I know she's doing that walk back to her cell. I know what she's feeling. And I didn't want that for her. I didn't want that for anyone.
Yeah, man, they strong, and again, they're gonna put up their strongest appearance to you, and they're gonna do their crying when they do their crying, and likewise with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are each other's support structure.
And Shy, you know this, man. I'm gonna tell you something. Girls, women, like they carry that heart, man. Like the mom that I've been is never talked about. It's always gonna be like, oh, that she left, or she, after Kate passed away, she moved on, and no one ever talks about anything good, or they're gonna talk about the way she looked. But amazing mom, amazing wife,
Mm,
person for sure.
I gotta say
And
that, man.
Val,
Fuck, I don't give a fuck what they say, man. Fuck them, man. I wouldn't give no pay. Like, fuck, they want to see you in the dirt. Fuck them. You know, like it is what it is. Shit happens to the people who are out there doing dumb shit, and it happens. It blew up in their face. A lot of other people are probably sad that they lost their kid too. I'm
mm,
just saying, like, why be apologetic about that shit, man? That's your wife. Fuck everybody.
that's it.
yeah.
Easy.
I just feel bad because I think that
Bro, they don't give a fuck about no
for
one. Fuck
someone
them.
for someone who I think that like how about this? What the internet today wasn't like that, and before the internet, it was a street shy, you know.
Absolutely.
And Val took a lot of fucking bullshit. You hear me? From the music industry, from the streets, because what people know today, they're barely like this is like reliving something that's old news to us, right, Chad?
Yeah.
It's old news to you because you were part of it,
Mm,
and people literally like probably killed her like several times, and but they don't see the other side of it.
mm,
They don't see the part of it, and it's like she's a good woman. She's a great woman. She's
That's what I'm
got a
saying.
big
You ain't
heart.
gotta. I said you ain't gotta justify it
right.
because if someone would have took my girl, they would have been applauding it. Fuck them. Fuck everybody.
Yeah,
And what they say. Like I said, it's family now. It's not like it's not about the
yeah,
past. Like I wouldn't even give nobody a time of day to even consider what they
yeah.
feel or justifying it.
Yeah, and the
It's
time
stupid.
was different. Like and he's not lying. I mean, there was a sentiment in the streets about Val back
Hmm.
then. You know what I'm saying? And
But
and
that's
I'm sure
just
there was
to show you the
situation.
streets.
Huh?
Shy. Like on the real, that just goes through the street. Like, be honest with you. Like we talk about it lightly.
Mhm.
You imagine, bro? Like straight up, you have all these cultures, like all these gang culture, all these gangsters. They so worried about what a woman's doing. That's how
Right.
bad they are. You get me?
So
Like on the
so
real,
now the difference is back then it wasn't there was no internet. Now there's an
yeah.
internet, and these comments could linger and be there. But at the end of the day, I'm with Pete, man. Fuck everybody. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna make it real clear though. I'm gonna even say something. We talked about this before, even like the shit with Fat Joe. Like, bro, man, I don't like to talk about bad about people. He said some stories that 80% true or 70% true, 30% false. You get me? I
mhm,
used to be around that man, and he would say what's up. He had no clue. It's always what he thought was true, and he changed the story because some idiot wants to paint the picture. But like, bro, the streets don't lie. You can say whatever you want about me. You can say we're biggest snitch. You can't lie of who we were in the street and what we represented, and then the fact that he would go comment and say some things about my wife that he had no idea about.
mm,
That's just hurtful. Like, it's one thing for you to say, oh, how she looked, what it was, but it's like it's for a good story that even Val would be like, look, it's for a good story. You can say whatever you want. It doesn't
mhm.
even matter. Paint the picture. But let's keep shit real at the same time.
Right.
I don't dwell on what people are saying, but let's just keep it real. You know what I'm saying? That it sounds bad. Yeah, it's fucked up. You want to look at me like what I did? Is it fucked up?
Right.
Sure. All right. Bet it is.
I'm
Says who? You
saying,
get me?
no, that's what I'm saying. Everybody, marries someone who was somebody else's girl. That was with someone else before she went with him. And nobody feel bad for that, dude. Fuck them. Like, it's over, bro. Like, just live.
Right.
They bring it up, and it bothers me just because everyone got something to say and
A
put
couple of
their two
y'all
cents
out there
in.
married to some girl that was mine, like a whole bunch
Yeah,
of them. Y'all
Yeah.
married them. I didn't marry them. Y'all
Yeah.
married them, and they're yours now. Understand that?
Yeah.
I
Yeah, for sure. It's like, think about that, y'all.
But with that being said, like, I understand the way things could be, and I told my brother we had our own conversation about it. But look, man, we're 20 years into it. My brother has a family with this person, man. Fuck everybody, you know.
Yeah, that's it, man. Like,
I
like,
mean,
and
that's
Yeah.
and
it. That's
Yeah.
it.
And the
Hey,
truth, it is, but it's like at the same time, what's weird though, you mentioned this, Shine. Like, Fat Joe, if you go back to those interviews he did talk about it, like, man, those interviews are old. Those were like 2012,
right,
2013, 14. Um, what it's been is like, you see what it is today with the culture, where like women, how they look, what they present themselves, and I always laugh like that. That's been Val for like the last fucking 30 years
right.
or so. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people,
But people
people
but
get the wrong
again.
impression.
I am gonna say though, like, Chad, we brought you out. Y'all brought the conversation up. A lot of people in the chats before brought the conversation about the kind of life she was living. All right, man. Even if it is true, I mean, she did what she did, and she was living her life. And you get to a point where you grow up, and
Yeah,
you start a different kind of life, and you leave that behind you.
absolutely.
Like, you're gonna hold everyone's mistakes, hold them over their head for the rest of their lives. And for
And
me, it feels like that's my brother's wife now. It's not like that's not her in the past.
mm,
So fuck him. Like, that's what I would say.
absolutely. Yeah, and
You
it's
know,
like
and
other people like Fat Joe. They're not above the Spider Loc talk out of turn. I need a
yeah,
story for this podcast. This is how I heard the story. This is how I'm gonna tell it. Phone game. The story changes. Not everybody is scrutinizing the truth like we try to scrutinize it over here. And
Mhm.
it's not like we're trying to out nobody, but it's like if you saying something matter of factly, and I think it's hard for you to prove it, then I need to understand why you're saying it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And that's a lot
and
of what happens out there. People go on these shows and they go on these interviews and they got to think up a story, and usually it comes from taking somebody else's story that they know third person, and and it
Mhm.
turns into all that.
Yeah, because
yeah,
even when it comes to Fat Joe, like I heard him say some comments. I respect it. Cool. He said some shit about me, you know, online or even on some personal shit. I respect it. I don't expect him to approve of shit. I do think that I see through him that he's willing to, bullshit his way into like getting into,
Yeah, he made
propaganda and
Kanye. He made
shit.
Kanye carry bags.
Yeah, you know all that shit. I kind of like. Okay, I get it. It's cool, but at the end of the day, you know, I don't have no hard feelings. He could think whatever he wants. But one thing for sure is that I don't give a fuck what he thought he was in New York. He has these stories about this dude was a big Hispanic drug trafficker. Now he's talking about Boy George. Like, bro, one thing that my brother and I were, and Shy, you know this, and I think that all your listeners will say is like we were the biggest drug traffickers in the history of the United States. Period. Period. That's it. And plain and simple. So he could say whatever he wants, but on the real, I even told 50, I think he'll play a great Cato. So hopefully that comes to life. And
And even
if it,
even that even that point being said, that relationship stuff, bro. Like he didn't add to my fucking hustling, bro. He didn't do that. You know, he came around. He's Val's ex husband. Period. That's it, man. I know him. We were cool. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't add to my shit. We did some things together. But everybody wants to always group us. That's Val's past. That ain't my past. You know that's it's stupid. You know we're around them and think and whatever happened. I mean, it happened and
It's the same way they tell the stories, and they it's not they don't say the Flores twins. They say, "Oh, Chapo's guys got the thing back." You know what I'm saying? That's the way
yeah.
these stories just be told, out like that, and nobody thinks of keeping the story natural to what it is, to what really happened. They just say whatever. It's fucking ridiculous.
No, yeah, man. And my wife, like I said, our wives, Val, Viv, man, 12 years is a long time. They visit us every weekend. Not every other weekend, every weekend. My kids were there. I got to see my kids grow. I was blessed in that way. It takes a lot, man. 12 years, Like, think about it. To come home to my wife, I think that was the biggest blessing I've ever had. And then to see her suffer through this is like one of the worst things I've ever lived through my whole entire life. And that includes my 12 years in prison altogether. This is still the worse than that.
Right. Literally
yeah,
counting the days.
again, man, I mean, we don't blame anybody. I think it's just sad. It's a sad truth that these are women, and it's just part of the thing of the life that we, as men, I think me and my brother as men, just select and we want it for our family. You know, those go back to our decisions that we made early on, and we continue to suffer to those, and our kids been affected by it, and it's sad. You get me?
Right.
Like, people might think, oh yeah, well Val was always this gangster. But nah, man, like this is the last thing she ever wanted for her as a mom.
Right.
And the sad part is that we can't even visit them.
That's crazy.
People keep asking those questions like, "Are you able?" No, we're not allowed. The BOP, the federal government, would never allow my brother and I to step foot in one of those visiting rooms.
That's
So,
crazy.
and that goes for our kids. You hear me? And just part of the situation that we're in.
Yeah, it's an there's a lot of extras in this situation that aren't always the norm. You know what I'm saying? That kind of norm where the parents can't see each other, and the kids, because of that, the kids can't see each other. It's a crazy scenario, man. It's a crazy
Yeah,
scenario.
yeah, they're having a little bit harder than what's the norm.
No, well,
Well,
that's my kind of point. That's kind of my point to you. Like my wife, she has a past. I ain't sorry to nobody for being with her. Fuck them,
Right.
They don't exist no more in my eyes. And that's what I said. What's wrong with just saying that from the get go? Hey, we don't bring nobody from the past stuff. That's it. It's over. I don't know what's wrong with that. I don't know if that's in the wrong or not, but everybody got a girl who had someone else. They don't want to keep bringing them up.
Right.
or vice versa, us having exes or whatever the case is, right? Like it's stupid.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Unfortunately, just like the name Chapo, it'll probably be always be some part of the story. It's gonna come to the point where it's like there's no room to talk about it anymore. Whatever.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think it'll be good for the story. Like once we get our book out and once the TV show gets put
That's
out, I
right. Y'all
think
active
it
with the book too. I can't wait for that because hey, we're gonna be right here.
yeah, like I mentioned before, we're gonna be working with Jaquavis Coleman, who is considered to be one of the best urban fiction writers. I think that I think it'll be good for him to kind of be able to bring our story to life and talk more about what was our the foundation of our story, get into some of these particulars, right? A little
Right.
bit more in depth, and we're looking forward to it, right? To kind of put this book and be able to kind of talk about a little bit more about some of the stories you haven't heard
Mm,
and be able to put it out there, right?
hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. I think we're gonna wrap it up. I appreciate you guys per usual. Thank you guys. You guys were absolutely entertaining, candid, honest, and I appreciate the conversation always. I think my audience appreciates the conversation. They show it. They've been in here hardcore for going on 3.5 hours. They, everybody had
Ah,
their Super Bowl tonight, and you guys as well had y'all pizza and y'all wings. But I appreciate you guys for blessing the stage over here.
man, and you know what? Shai, thank you for having us, bro. I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm all about the underdog, and hopefully, um, I want to see your channel blow up. So, you know what I'm saying? We're here for you, and hopefully, we continue to grow the channel and continue to talk about some of these topics that I haven't really talked about. Again, we're just going into like, what your audience is actually into, and hopefully,
Yeah,
we'll
cause
be able to.
and there's a lot of questions that I have. Like I got questions too. Like, hey, I think about other things. I think about things like, I'm sure there were guys that were around on the peripheral that you knew that was hating on y'all that y'all had to watch. You know what I'm saying? I'd be thinking about, hey, asking those kind. I haven't gotten there yet, but we'll get to all those things down the line. There's a lot of questions that pop into my head, but we've been servicing the audience. They've had their share of questions. I love when they ask you about somebody that I probably don't even know from the story. You know what I'm saying? And you guys have a story about it, and that allows me to go back and find that person to do my research. So I appreciate it on both ends, from the audience and from you guys.
Yeah, just keep getting the story, keep getting those questions, right? Jab them down, and next time
Oh
we come
yeah, I
on,
always keep track. I got screenshots, I got lists, I got all kind of
yeah.
questions, and I check them
Oh
off so that
yeah,
we got things for the future.
yeah. You got your
Sunday,
work cut out for you, for sure.
the Sunday night novella, bro. I appreciate you having us for real, man.
Hey
Thank
man,
you.
I appreciate you guys. Like Oso said, it is the novela. Jonathan said in the Discord, it's like a novela that you don't want to end. So I'll be in the Discord talking my shit for a little while after this live. Again, I appreciate you guys for being here.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good night. Saludos to the
All right.
wives, to
Hey,
the
God bless
children.
Shy,
everyone, man. To everyone
I'm
who
gonna
was
try to do
in.
this. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for everyone who actually commented, all those people who were involved. Sam, all those people who somehow, some way having some type of dealing with us. Good looking. Thank you for your comments, man. Stay safe.
If you can, add that Discord chat, so maybe we can get Big Chang in there if he's still on.
Here we go. I got this Discord invite right here. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. Big Changs, if you're out there, grab the Discord link.
You
Get
know
you
what? Next time you invite me on, you better have a jibarito for me, bro. Jibarito
bruh.
sandwich or something,
Bruh, man, listen,
bro.
I got so much good food around me over here, bro.
You know what? You can never go with the Chi-Town food. People don't even understand when it comes to like the culture, Mexican, Puerto Rican,
Best Mexican
So,
American,
food
the
in the
pizza.
world right here. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah,
so
bro, for sure, bro. There's no fucking like, there's not even a fucking like anything close to it, for sure.
I used to go get them jibaritos at Borinquen, right in
Yeah.
California,
Yeah, they
On
started it.
division.
They
and
started
Yep,
it,
they
and
Wapanza,
then the
started
and
it.
brothers check this petty shit out. They started it, and then the brothers now argue about who started it.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No, they started for sure. They're the originals, great Jibaritos right there in the hood, right? That little shack kept opening up, and now they're all around the United States, all around the world, to be honest.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
Yeah, it's like a
Um,
burrito. You can't ask for no burrito in Mexico. Same thing in Puerto Rico. Jibarito, that came
yeah,
from Chicago.
yeah, yeah. Like what the hell is that?
Yeah.
yeah, for
I wish
sure.
that. So my wife, she's an amazing cook. She would make us bomb jibaritos at home.
Yeah, well, you
Hey,
fucked up because the next time I have a jibarito, I'm posting it on the YouTube communities tab on the
yeah,
Yeah,
you
channel.
have to though bring in the culture like people Italian beefs, bro. The pizza, people think that everywhere I go, like, oh, eat this pizza. I'm like, bro, we don't eat that.
None of that.
You know, like the food is amazing. You have all these different food. I think the Mexican food, especially in Chicago, is different. Even the cuts, the meats, the sazon, it's all different. I think, um, it's original jibaritos. Like I miss that Puerto Rican food for sure. But yeah, man, Shay, listen, bro. I get it. You know, all those for all those people who are on your show. I'm gonna just do this drop. I think that this is more than just a YouTube channel. I think it's more about conversation and getting more insights that are more personal, more in depth, and it's not gonna be those click and baits type videos. I think you're bringing great content, a great perspective, and you're getting the real story, especially from someone like us.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
And
Yeah,
Chucky
and
Chingon, man, I was out in Phoenix for a long time, so I know your area a little bit.
yeah, and shouts out to Ron Too Strong. I know he was dropping in.
Yeah, he popped up in the
All those
chat. We're gonna
people.
holler at him. We was gonna holler at him Saturday, but we were waiting to see if Spider Loke was gonna pop when he said he would, but he didn't. We're gonna holler at JC and see if we talk to JC soon.
JC Alberto, right from that. What's his podcast name?
Who?
Um,
Oh,
he-
Normalized
normalized
crime.
normalized
Normalized Crime.
crime.
Big
Yeah.
shout out to him.
Shout out to
All
normalized
those
crime.
people who we came across with, whether it was Johnny Eli or Gene Barillo or all those podcasts are out there. Yeah, we have quite a few. I'm losing my mind. No disrespect to
So,
anyone. Oh, you know what? Ron Tishon podcast, Omar. Um, and check him out too as well. He has a Ron Tishon podcast out of Chicago, right? It's a Christian based podcast. We come on there and just talk about the story about change and stuff. You know, for all those people who support for sure.
Got
And
the
Johnny
Okra
Mitchell,
and Leaks.
we
We got
can't
the
hate
Okra
on
and
Johnny
Leaks link
Mitchell.
up in the chat.
Big shouts out to El Prophet too if he's listening, man. You know, hard
now you know
feelings is
what?
what it is.
Oakland Leaks, of course. Yeah, I gotta check them out too.
Orkan links,
We gotta get this bilingual stuff going. You know.
Orkan links. You know, big shouts out to
I
him
do the
too.
Martin
So you
Lawrence.
know he
Tengo
does
unos
the Spanish.
gatos en los pantalones. This is Spanish, man.
Hey, gracias a todos por escucharnos hoy. Buenas noches.
There you go. There you have it. All
Yeah.
right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Again,
Hey,
saludos to
listen,
the
God bless.
family.
Hey, Chai, I appreciate the chance, the platform, to get the stories out. So we
Always.
all already know, man. Big shouts out to BMF,
Shout out
Big
to
Meech,
BMF.
Terry. My respects to 50, but y'all know what it is, man. Um, you know, it is what it is, bro. There's just no competition, to be honest. And I believe, and I'm gonna say out there, we're gonna have the number one show.
Number one
It's
show,
gonna be,
y'all.
yeah, for sure.
Number one show. See
Hey,
y'all
thank y'all
there.
for listening to this bullshit. But I appreciate y'all, man. Good night to y'all.
We kick it.
God
Y'all
Have a
bless.
have
good
a
All
night,
good
right.
man.
night.
God bless. Stay
Peace
safe,
out, man.
y'all.
Y'all have a good night.
Until
Until
next
next
time.
time. Yeah.
Saludos. Peace. All right, y'all. We did it again. Great conversation. 3.5 hour stream. I appreciate y'all for hanging tough through the whole thing. Uh, it was a good conversation. Touched on a lot of stuff. There's gonna be a lot there to cut. A lot of editing right there. I didn't get to read the chat much. I'll be reading it on my own later and harvesting questions to put on the list for future, impromptu situations like this where the twins come on. You know, everything they said they was gonna do, they did. They said they'd be back. They was back. So, salutes to them. I appreciate them for being here. The chat only goes back so far here, but I'm gonna shout y'all out real quick. Shout out and appreciation to the usual suspects. Again, I'm gonna be having some new usual suspect merch coming very soon. Got some cool designs for that. Um, let's get it. Of course, Old Soul in the building, Chucky Chingon, Felix Reyes, Perfecto, JP the Ghost, Albert Flores, Vernon Himes, Jonathan Pantoja, Albert Flores, Sam Germ, who else we got in here? Who else we got? Mr. Eddie Jimenez, Jose Fonseca, LV, salutes to you. Salutes to everybody that dropped the super chat tonight. I appreciate you guys greatly. Real Estate Lifestyle CT, I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Who else we had in the building tonight? Polo Reyes, per usual. I appreciate you being here, sir. Sawa retracted their message. I didn't get to see it, but I'm sure it popped up on the screen. We'll check it later. Shout out 030 North. Appreciate you, sir. Safe travels. What else we got in here? Boom, boom, boom. Yael, per usual. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Sky Enterprise. Thank you. Monster Media. Alec. Thank you. Dan Miller, appreciate you being here. He said Johnny Mitchell don't even deserve to have the twin arms. He didn't even know the story when Charlie was there. He had a visceral reaction. Um, who else is up in here? Usual suspects, usual suspects. Alexis Garcia, thank you for being here on the check-in. And let's see. Yeah, I like the idea of JOP being the twins in the movie. Here's the thing, man. It's a hard job. Acting is a hard job, right? This kid's a musician. He needs to get into some acting classes right now because it's hard enough playing one man. Playing two, another game. So good luck to him. I'm ready for it. I want to see it. Who else we got in here? Yayo, salutes to Yayo for being in here. Y'all can throw them hundreds up. Um, who else we got here? Y'all were active today, boy. Let's see, Mobster Media, we shouted y'all out. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate to Noel de Jesus that hit us during the long stint of time. 323G, of course. Thank you. Appreciate you being here and repping tonight. And Alberto J, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. He said, can't wait. This is going to be really dope for our culture. Definitely shout out to the twins. Appreciate you. Sergio Solis, twins, that's what's good from a fellow identical twin from Albany Park. Salutes to you, bro, and your twin. Who else we got in here? Eddie Jimenez, we shouted you out. Salute to you, bro. You guys showed out tonight. I appreciate it. I got a moth been bugging me. I'm gonna kill that bastard when we're done. Big Worm, I appreciate you on the check-in in the chat. Thank you. He said, for sure, new to the channel. The stories are wicked, great content. Appreciate you, Big Worm. You Bostonian. Who else we got in here? All right, we've reached the bottom. We've reached usual suspects with the roll call on it. Special edition. Absolutely. I got you. I got you. Salute, Chuck Chingon. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great the rest of y'all evening. I'm gonna motherfucking have me another Voodoo Ranger, smoke a little something and kick it. Salute JP the Ghost. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for your super chats tonight. I'm gonna go out with the song that I came in with. It's called Lupe. It's the story of a missing girl in Chicago and a dude in the hood looking to find her and basically how he feels about the situation. It's kind of a story, kind of not. It's inspired by a film that I made, a film that I was in, directed by Fadi Haddad. It's called Lupe. This is the song Lupe. So I appreciate y'all. We'll be going out with that tonight. Again, check out the Ill Shop. We got a bunch of stuff in there. And you guys have a great night. No drinking and driving. Be safe. Hug everybody that you love, and don't waste your time with the bullshit. Chuck E. Cheese said, "Shy about to get blessed. The twins took a liking to you, bro. You're gonna play Big Bro. Yo, me and Oso was looking at a picture of Big. Y'all seen the picture of Big Bro? Hold on, bro. Me and Oso was looking at the picture of Big Bro, and I was like, damn it. If I do my hair a certain way and I shave off my beard, I think I can look like dude. Hold on, man. We wilding right now. Yo, y'all ready for this? For those that haven't seen it, y'all ready for this? Y'all tell me if I look like Buddy, if I don't look like Buddy, or if I could look like Buddy, if I did the right things. Here we go. You ready? Bow. What? Stop it. That's too crazy. All I gotta do is grow out my little, you know, 89, 90, comb it back, diet, of course, knock down the chiba, the beard. Come on, man. But, I'm just talking my shit. I appreciate y'all, man. That got me looking crazy out here. I think I had that sweater, too. Real talk. Again, I appreciate y'all for being here. Thank you, guys. Uh, Without y'all, it would be boring. Real talk. With that said, I'm gonna play this joint and we gonna get out of here. Peace.
Was she mad at you? If you knew or understood why she loved, realize why she is precious, she important to us. How much she means to the future without the damage is done. You stand accused, the abuser who murdered daughters and sons. Kissed by stars, shadow killer light from afar. Eyesight with a spark, search for what she find in the dark. Small in the brain, big brain, out in the heart. Good with a secret, no shame, like she's smart. Maybe inside another life she find us some fine arts, but we ain't going with choices, so she hopeless when life's hard. Lost and alone for naked, live finding a way. Making alliance, be a loyal dog and wait for a day. The corner wall to the street lights, back to the stay. The curb heard the crosswalk cry as she walked away. The church was her praying, she was one they could save. A disappointed system couldn't make her a slave.
If I could get past the day, I'd do it all a different way. Give myself half a chance, I wouldn't call the devil out to dance. If I could just catch a break, the differences that I can make, the type of pain that I could take. Yeah, I died before I choose to break.
There she is, I see how you look at her. You wish you could protect her, cause you see something good in her. You see what we all see, there's more than just the hood in her. We can see her greatness and devils trying to shoot at her. Chaos under madness, junkies trying to shoot her up. Old men trying to give her babies, white wolves out to chew her up. She more than just a doorway, it's more than just to shoot 'em up. More than just a poor girl, this cold world is using up. Tragedy, travesty, the murder of her majesty. Complete and utter blasphemy, end result catastrophe. Generations wiped out, the future is a casualty. Anything concerning her, I prefer you asking me. Also do it candidly, in a low tone with reverence. Or end up in a box, standing over you a reverend. She's sacred far as we concerned, this here is a holy place. Big brother, she chose a blowhole to your face.
If I could get past the day, I'd do it all a different way. Give myself half a chance, I wouldn't call the devil out to dance. If I could just catch a break, the differences that I can make, the type of pain that I could take. Yeah, I died before I choose to break.
Played to an early grave in a game she thought she could play. She might have made it a business to be a business one day, but all that business is finished. No hope for words left to say. No more lessons from mistakes. No graduation day. No getting over the awkwardness of being a teen. No more late nights on the block, pearling blunts for the team. More tears and vigils, more blood stains the streets. More division between the living, cutting flesh for the beef. Vengeance is on the table. This revenge is so sweet. Insatiable is the appetite, awaken the beast. Irrational thoughts and actions make the most sense to me. What's happening is gonna happen. We gon' die, we eat everything, every single motherfucking piece. And even then, no comparison to what you owe me. I have nothing, and only one thing left to gain. I promise I'ma walk you through flames, screaming a name.
If I could get past the day, I'd do it all a different way. Give myself half a chance, I wouldn't call the devil out to dance. If I could just catch a break, the differences that I can make, the type of pain that I could take. Yeah, I died before I choose to